Giants has put together 5 consecutive seasons of rushing for more than 1,000 yards. That string is in jeopardy this year as his numbers are significantly off and he has yet to score a touchdown. As we welcome you back to the show and the lovable Brad Shaw. I guess I'll leave that one alone. All right, folks, time now to take a look at our fantasy football competition. You'll recall each week we total up our points from our selected teams, and at the end of the season, 1-800-COLLECT will donate $44,000 to the winning captain's charity of choice. Take a look at the standings. What are we doing? You know what? See, I'm stepping out of this, Terry. Whoa. You're picking my teams. There's no way I can continue to be last. Ronnie's in first.
Look at me. Yeah.
And here's my team. Well, you know, it's the same guys, you know, so same guys as last week. I'm trading them. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, you ought to trade. But look at me. I have to pick up hardball. My man Favre's in Mississippi bass fishing. But look, Steeler defense is looking good, but I got to have some points. Bet us. Come on, big guy.
Yeah, I've come to the conclusion I need a GM, a talent evaluator, at a Dixie Little League's not getting the cash.
And it's just great being on top. I love being on top. And you look at my group, and look at that 49er defense again.
You know what?
Same guy that dogs, when we're not on camera, he dogs the 49ers.
I'm drafting the Riverdale Baptist team for mine next time. Some of you folks will be coming back here for the rest of this show. Others will send you out to your game. We'll see you back in a bit.
Don't forget about Terry and Jake's gospel singing. Coming to you live. There it is, folks.
Two nearly identical Porsche 911s, one destined for Le Mans, the other for a quieter life in America. But then again, expecting any Porsche to lead a quiet life may be asking a bit too much.
Hi.
Porsche, there is no substitute.
No, this one's on us, sir.
Right.
Side by side. Super Bowl? Look right now in today's newspaper coupon section for the Super Bowl 31 Fox Sweepstakes game symbol. Here are today's winning numbers. If your numbers match, you have just won a trip for 2 to Super Bowl 31. Watch the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show all season long for your chance to win.
All right, so that'll do it from here, but coming up next, the Falcons look for their first win of the season. But folks, they're picking an awfully tough place to get it done. They take on the Cowboys in Irving. Pat Summerall and John Madden will be calling all the action, so right now, let's send you down to Texas Stadium.
In Dallas, the Cowboys are showing signs of renewed optimism. Last week, the return of the playmaker, coupled with the performance of their star running back, instilled needed confidence to America's team. With the NFL's #1 defense, the Cowboys are primed to regain their dominance and prove they are still the elite team in the NFL. We're at sold-out Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, as the 0-6 Atlanta Falcons face the Dallas Cowboys with their record of 3-3. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. The Cowboys started off this season losing to the Bears, and they dug themselves a hole as the first 5 or 6 weeks progressed. Now they've got all the parts back in place, John. What state are they in?
Well, the thing is, the defense has been playing well. The defense is ranked #1 in the National Football League, and they're playing like a very good defense. But their offense has been struggling all year. And last week they got Michael Irvin back, and I think that's going to start to help them more today. Their offensive line looked like they were a little healthy. They got Emmitt Smith gaining 100 yards again. They got those things going, but I think what they have to do is they have to start getting some big plays. They haven't done that this year, and they have to start running some more of those things they call skinny posts.
What about Atlanta? What can they do to stop Dallas today?
I don't know that they can do anything to stop them. I think the thing that they have to do is they can't have any turnovers. They have to make a long field. They have to not let the Cowboys have any of those big plays, because if the Cowboys have any problem, it's taking the ball and running it the length of the field. So what the Falcons have to do is they can't have any turnovers. They have to play good defense and have a good kicking game.
Okay, John, we're just about ready to get underway. Coming up, it's the Atlanta Falcons and the Dallas Cowboys from Texas Stadium. And John and I will be back for the opening kickoff when Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station.
Home of the 1996 World Series.
Hi, Tom Bodette for 1-800.
United we stand, together we all fall.
The Dallas Cowboys, and right now they're all standing. Morton Anderson will kick off. Herschel Walker and Brock Marion back deep for the Cowboys. Walker's number 34. Anderson's kick sails to Walker at the goal line. Herschel still on his feet around the corner as Herschel Walker. One man to beat is Anderson. Herschel Walker tripped up from behind at about the 12-yard line. Devin Bush just got a hand on his heel as Walker brought it back 89 yards.
I'll tell you, this is some kick. Here's Herschel Walker right back here. You see him. His foot is going to be right on the goal line. So if he would have returned this all the way, it would have been 100 yards. He gets in behind the wedge. He runs right to the wedge, breaks a tackle there. Then when he gets to the outside, it's just a foot race. And Herschel Walker is still one of the fastest guys in this league. Watch your wedge. Here's the wedge. He has to get right in there behind that. You see, here they are. They're going to block here. Herschel Walker says, that's where I want to get. Then you want to get into and through the wedge as quickly as possible. What a start.
The last block was by number 56, Randall Godfrey. The Falcons said we can't give him any big plays.
The Cowboys needed big plays, and this is another way to get one.
And it's Emmitt Smith on first down inside the 10 out of bounds at about the 8. Let's look at the Dallas offense. Playing better as of last week and looking to improve, led by Troy Aikman. In front of him, that veteran and big offensive line, 2-A Newton, Donaldson, Allen, and Eric Williams, all getting healthy and playing better. Emmitt Smith and Darrell Johnston, the two running backs. Sanders and Irvin wide, and Eric Bjornsson is the tight end. 2nd and 6. Kelvin Martin split out wide to the right. That's Bjornsson on the move, and Aikman back to throw. Out to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt cut down, good open field tackle by Jesse Tuggle.
That's one thing Jesse Tuggle can do well, is he can smell out a play, he can cover, and he's a great open field tackler.
Ever aggressive and a very, very good player, Jesse Tuggle.
I'll tell you, and Emmitt Smith made Tuggle miss about 90% of them, and Jesse got 10% of them. And he was telling us last night, he said, you know, Emmitt Smith, he said, all the time I've ever played, I've never had a good shot on him, and I've never seen anyone else really get a good shot on him.
And he still didn't. Here's Aikman back again. Deion Sanders was split wide left. That's Emmitt Smith. And he's touchdown. Dallas. From Aikman. 9 yards out. Much of it done after the catch by Emmitt Smith.
You're going to see Emmitt Smith just come out of the backfield. He's just going to do like a check through. You see, he just acts like he's blocking. Then he checks through and does a cross. Troy Aikman sees him all the way. That's the good news on the play. The bad news on this play is that Mark Tuinei, their left tackle, is injured.
He had a badly injured, I should say, leg on the way in. Let's see.
Yeah, here's Tuinei right here. And like you said, he's had a bad knee all season. It's really just held together with a brace. And you see on this play, it's right there. He just got caught over the guy that he had already blocked to the ground. Just watch him right there. You see, he's going to come back here, come back, and then right there is where he gets it. And that was the thing that the Cowboys have been worried about all week. And as a matter of fact, this Thursday, Tuinei had to go out of practice. He couldn't finish the entire practice on Thursday.
We were looking at that brace on Friday. It goes from up around the hip area all the way down to his ankle.
Well, you know, he injured the knee, and the knee never did tighten up. So really, the brace is taking the part of the joint.
He's walking under his own power and walking better than I thought he would.
Well, he's a tough guy. He's going to, because of pride, he's going to walk under his own power.
As Nate Newton said to us the other day, Tui is a warrior, and he'll stay if he can. Dallas 7, Atlanta nothing.
Only one has the moves of Barry Sanders. Only one has his acceleration. Only one has his control. Only one has such breathtakingly perfect balance. Seville STS with the North Star system. A great performer creates a higher standard.
Can you identify who it was that frightened you, ma'am?
I'll try.
This Halloween, terrifying creatures are on the loose at Taco Bell.
It's them!
Wanted, Goosebumps at Taco Bell. Slappy's Candy Keeper, Cuddles the Horrible Hamster, Rappin' Mummy, and Skullmobile. Get them now. Goosebumps collectibles only at Taco Bell.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer. By Taco Bell and Goosebumps. Collect all 4 frightening creatures this Halloween. And by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Bonio to kick it off. The Cowboys lead 7-0. Short kick, high hanging. Metcalf will field it at about the 14. Eric Metcalf, and look out. He could break some tackles too. Let's look at the Atlanta Falcon offense. Bobby Hebert, the quarterback. Jeff George, a decision will be made on him next Tuesday. Bob Whitfield, Robbie Tobeck, Fortin, Zandowski, Bert Emanuel, Scott, Mathis, Burden, and Anderson. Scott starting in place of Metcalf. Bobby Hebert. So many years with the Saints. Became a backup at Atlanta. Now because of Jeff George's problems, Hebert is the starter. And the Falcons open with something very unusual. A tight end. Hebert goes long count, drops to throw it. Batted backwards by Leon Lett. Boy, what a year he is having. What a player he's become. Tolbert, Chad Hennings, Leon Lett, and Broderick Thomas. Broderick Thomas at defensive end. That's correct. 2 linebackers, Darren Smith and Fred Strickland. And the secondary, Sanders, Marion, Teague, Darren Woodson, and Kevin Smith. A little unusual. But when you face the run and shoot like Atlanta runs, you have to defense things a little unusually. Straight ahead is Anderson, Jamal Anderson. Strong runner, knocked out of bounds by Teague. Didn't quite get himself gathered.
Well, you know, as you said, Broderick Thomas is normally a linebacker, and he's playing defensive line. He's playing a defensive end position, and this is the thing Barry Switzer said that he's worried about, where he has to muscle up, and he's always done this as a pass rusher, but boom, where you got to take on a blocker like Big Bob Whitfield, he'll get a little movement on you. Then it doesn't take a lot for a back like Jamal Anderson to get to the outside.
Third and short. Excuse me, Joe.
I was just going to say, I think they're going to run at Broderick Thomas and Deion Sanders.
Hebert with a sneak appeared to get the first down for the Falcons. A little bit different playing as Broderick Thomas is now as a down lineman than being as a linebacker.
Yeah, and then, you know, he's played as a down lineman before, but on pass rush situations where he really doesn't have to take on that tackle, and as Barry Switzer called it, muscle up to a tackle. And now, like on a situation like this, on a 1st and 10 or any running situation, he has to stand in there, hang in there, muscle up, and play run first. And the Falcons are putting a tight end on his side.
Hebert just gets rid of it. Good throw to Bert Emanuel, the former Rice quarterback. Let's look at that defense again. What you're talking about.
Leon Lett's all over the place. We said here, now Thomas, a linebacker, moves to defensive end. They're playing Strickland in the middle. They move Woodson up to a defensive back up here, and they put George Teague in this position. Then the other linebacker, of course, is still Darren Smith. But they have to use 5 defensive backs. But watch that Leon Lett. I mean, Leon Lett is at a stage now, the way he's playing, he is unblockable.
They started off with trips to the right. Now they get even on both sides, and this is Jamal Anderson into Dallas territory to about the 44, stopped by Darren Woodson.
Now, see, that's an advantage that these guys have, the Cowboys have, is that Darren Woodson is a defensive back who's been a linebacker. June Jones, we see here looking at his plays. He's the head coach, but he's also the offensive coordinator, or he calls all the plays. In fact, he says he has to call a different game. I mean, when he suspended Jeff George and inserted Bobby Hebert, he has to call a different game for Hebert than he would for George, because Hebert doesn't have the arm George has.
Just doesn't have the gun. Trips left this time. Hebert goes that direction, gets a man wide open. There is Mathis. Atlanta has another first down. Mathis was uncovered.
Yeah, we talk about the thing that you do. See here, when they call trips, they have 3 wide receivers on one side. So you can overload one side and either throw quickly to that side. You see there's only 2 defenders out there, and then the one guy that's wide open is Mathis quickly. And one thing about Bobby Hebert, he can see it quickly and get rid of the ball quickly. Can he throw it deep? That's the biggest question.
First down, Falcons. Emmanuel goes in motion to the right. Here's Hebert to throw again. Lofts it outside. Fortunate for Anderson that he didn't catch that.
I don't think he wanted to. Jamal Anderson, I think he felt Darren Woodson coming up there, and he just saw that ball a little high, and instead of putting his hands up to catch it and get tattooed in the ribs, he put his hands down to say, hey, there's no way.
I don't want that. Leon Lett gets a rest.
I don't know why. If I had Leon Lett, and as good a player he is, and as much as he's getting paid, he would never get a rest, especially in the first quarter. He doesn't need a rest.
They move Hervin McCormick inside. Here's Hebert. The shovel pass to Jamal Anderson. That's the way they run their screen to this side. Hebert shovels it backhanded.
Yeah, and that's in lieu of a run. I mean, that'll go down statistically. It'll go down as a pass, but it's really a running play. So you'll see Jamal Anderson here. He's going to sneak in like he's going to block. Then he's going to stop right there. Then they let the line form in front of him. And then Fred Strickland, number 55, read that well, and he was right there. And he didn't let anything get formed.
3rd and 8. Mathis changes side. Cowboys jump. Hebert can do that very well, too.
Hebert has to adjust all his parts. I mean, it's only the first time the Falcons have had the ball, but I'll tell you, Leon Lett, put a couple of hits on him.
Encroachment, number 78 of the defense, 5 yards. It's still 3rd down.
Encroachment. We haven't had that for a while.
No, we asked Leon Lett how he gets off the ball so quickly, because if there's any, I mean, he's big and he's strong and he's fast and he's quick, but if there is a secret to his success, it's his getting off when that ball is snapped, getting off quickly. And maybe that's maybe part of his secret is a little anticipation, because that time there was no movement of the ball.
The only movement was Hebert's head when he gave him that hard count.
And you have to do that with Leon Lett. He's too hot just to let go.
3rd down, no running backs. Hebert fires to Anderson, still on his feet inside the 10. Stopped finally by Fred Strickland. down at about the 7-yard line.
And that's one thing about Jamal Anderson, you know, that he is a big running back. He's out here. He's lined up like a slot. He's not in the backfield. He doesn't come out of the backfield. He just runs a slant from a slot. Bobby Hebert throws him a perfect pass. And if you are going to tackle him, you better wrap your arms. You see, George Teague didn't do that, and he just bounced right off Anderson.
It's 1st and goal at the 7. That was a good throw by Hebert. Anderson down to the 5. He's strong.
This is where the Falcons, with this offense, have trouble. You know, is they can move the ball in the middle of the field, and they can move it inside the 20, but it's when they get down in the goal line area, you know, and that field shrinks on them is when they start to have a problem. Now they're using Mitch Lyons, we just see going here as a tight end. They're using him more today than we've seen.
He's actually off the ball.
He's been in there to help as a blocker mostly, even on pass protection.
And down here is where they need it. Hebert outside Anderson, taken down by Woodson.
We saw this same thing with the Falcons against the 49ers. Remember, they drove the ball down, boom, they got all the way down here, and then they had to settle for a field goal. Here the same thing. Hebert is looking. Then he has to throw the ball out here to Jamal Anderson. And Darren Woodson was right on him.
They lost 2. 3rd and goal at the 9. Put that pass back in the cabinet.
Well, they better get those slants going in there again, but they have to be deeper slants in this situation.
Hebert has Anderson behind him. Again, he throws it out to him. Jamal Anderson to the 5.
That's not going to do it. On 3rd and 9, you know, you have to throw the ball in the end zone because, like this, if you complete this pass, you still have to kick the field goal.
Deion Sanders made the stop.
You know, and I know, you know, Deion Sanders, of course, played for the Atlanta Falcons, and, you know, they never thought that he was a real good tackler. Deion Sanders is a good tackler. He just really doesn't enjoy tackling as much as he does some of the other things. But they tried to get one-on-one on him, and they got it. And Deion won that one.
That's exactly what they had in mind. Morton Anderson from 23 yards hits, and the Falcons get on the scoreboard. Dallas leads 7-0 over Atlanta. We're still in the first quarter.
Body heat rises. Degree releases extra protection when you need it most.
As I work harder, Degree works harder.
Degree, for an extra degree of protection.
This is it, the big one. Hold on for the ride. It's Degree Antiperspirant's hottest Super Bowl sweepstakes. Check the pack. Call, win, free Super Bowl tickets and more. Degree's hottest Super Bowl sweepstakes. It's smoking.
Same show.
Stop, girl, shoot!
Same time.
Golly!
New night.
Father!
The X-Files moves to Sundays beginning next week.
Back at Texas Stadium, that helmet belongs to Deion Sanders when he plays on the defensive side of the ball.
Of course, he has 2 helmets. One, the defensive one that is sitting there, and now the Cowboys are getting ready to go to offense. So the one he has in his hand is his offensive helmet.
Good kick by Anderson. Chases Walker back deep into the end zone. The first time they kicked off, he brought it back 89 yards to set up their touchdown.
Morton Anderson says, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to give him one that there's no way he's going to return.
7-3, Dallas over Atlanta.
Lower your right foot and repeat after me. I promise to be free. I promise to be different. I promise to take the other path. I promise to be unique. I promise to drive an Eldorado with a 300 horsepower North Star system, a suspension that reads faster than Evelyn Wood, and a body that parts traffic. Hey, sometimes you've just got to live without limits.
It is a test, not just of strength, but of the power of the mind. And if you complete the journey, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
It was impossible to make Wendy's grilled chicken sandwich any more delicious. So we made it bigger. Now our marinated whole breast filet is bigger and juicier, and you can really feel good about eating it.
Boy, do I feel good.
What's got Dion acting so sweet?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you trying to catch this?
It's got to be Honey Frosted Wheaties, the frosted flake that's kicked with Wheaties energy for a prime-time taste.
Can I get anyone a beverage?
Honey Frosted Wheaties. It's sweet energy.
We've got some new ideas on criminals' rights. They have the right to surrender, or they have the right to be hunted down by millions of viewers. The new America's Most Wanted.
Back at Texas Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden, 7-3, Dallas leading. Cowboys have the ball at their own 20. George Hageman is now playing left tackle in place of Tuine. To Smith. Let's have a look at the Atlanta defense. Smith, Gardner, Hall, who's having a good year, and Lester Archambault. The four up front, George Tuggle and Cornelius Bennett. The three linebackers, the secondary, Phillips, Bates, Bush, and Tim McKyer.
Yeah,
Dallas, excuse me.
No, I was just going to say Darnell Walker, who usually starts at that right corner, isn't even active today.
Emmitt Smith. Out to a first down. Right now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, gadget plays on Washington's opening drive helped to set up this 2-yard run by Terry Allen. You know he's third in the NFC in rushing. Redskins on top of the Giants in the first by a touch. Back to Pat and John.
This Dallas offensive line per man, their average is almost 50 pounds per man bigger than the Atlanta front four.
Eric Williams was blocking his guy about 5 yards downfield that last play.
To Michael Irvin from Aikman. Anthony Phillips on the stop.
Yeah, they move Michael Irvin around now. You know, he's not just the right end. His right end left. He's over here on this side, and he's going to run up here and then come right in here to the inside. The thing you want to do is you want to start out, drive him like you're going up, and then come to the inside. And again, what he does, once he makes that move, he just turns his body. So there's no way that the defender can get there. But again, it all starts with this. Watch Eric Williams right here. I mean, when he hits a guy, boom, his head just goes backwards. The guy he hits, I'm talking about.
Emmitt Smith. Not much. Maybe a yard. Michael Irvin now has 83 straight games with at least one catch in the regular season.
And again,
the player down.
One of the things that they're going to have to do, the Cowboys have to get more consistency on offense, and they're going to have to get some big plays.
That's Travis Hall down for the Falcons, and he has really come on of late. The best defensive lineman.
Yeah, June Jones was really impressed with this guy.
7-3. The Cowboys lead.
When does 6 feet not even begin to measure up? Stay tuned.
The legendary chalice of Malta has never come cheap. In 1238, it was captured by 10,000 Celts. In 1512, it took an entire armada. And in 1703, it took an arranged marriage to the daughter of Charles V, the older one. But luckily, if you want the golden chalice of Malta, all you need is the golden card of Visa, with extraordinary purchase power for extraordinary things. It's even mightier than the sword. Visa Gold fits everywhere you want to be.
The average spike rarely exceeds 6 feet. And in the hands of a novice, well, it's hardly even worth mentioning. But the old-time record spike is well over 19 feet. Its official height can't be verified, since the ball still hasn't come down.
Only one has the moves of Barry Sanders. Only one has his acceleration. Only one has his control. Only one has such breathtakingly perfect balance. Seville STS with the North Star system. A great performer creates a higher standard.
You're just 5 days away from the series People magazine calls the best new show of the year.
The 1,000 years is over!
Millennium series premiere Friday on Fox.
Dallas 7, Atlanta 3. Dan Owens has replaced Travis Hall. 2nd and 9. Flag. Aikman fires. Incomplete. Intended for Irvin.
That was a good throw. Michael Irvin should have caught that one. You know, that thing that happened to Travis Hall was the same thing that happened to Yurkovich in the championship game. Watch, here's Eric Williams. Here's Travis Hall. Travis Hall's going to come here. Eric Williams is going to come in and clip him. Now, remember, once you're in this box right here, clipping, and I still have no reason why, clipping is legal. You see him right there, boom, he clips him right there from behind. Now, in that tackle box, that is a legal play. And I think it's a stupid rule.
Hall still gets up and gets a piece of the tackle. And then went down on his back after that. 2nd and 4. Here's Emmitt Smith. Didn't get the first down, knocked backwards by Jesse Tuggle.
And I think Jesse Tuggle got square on Emmitt Smith that time. He says there's nothing to hit. He said, I've never got hit. And I think that's why he got so excited, because he said in all the times he's played against him, he's never got that type of thing. We're going to see him right here. Now, he's just reading Emmitt Smith. And he sees him there, and then he moves, and he comes back off, and then he cuts back, and Jesse Tuggle makes a heck of a play.
Yes, he does.
See the thing that Jesse Tuggle can do? He's only 5'10", so he can kind of hide a little behind that defensive line.
On 3rd and 1, Aikman to Bjornsson. Bjornsson will get the first down. Stopped by Devin Bush.
You know, one thing that Eric Bjornsson is coming along as a tight end, but I think you have to remember that he's never played tight end before in his life. He was a quarterback in high school and a quarterback and wide receiver in college, and until he came to the Cowboys a year ago, it's the first time he's ever played tight end, so he's going through a lot of things for the first time.
That was Jay Novacek in the big black Cowboy hat. This is Darryl Johnston. Stopped by Ron George. The Degree hot rookies this week are Eddie George of the Oilers, Zach Thomas of the Miami Dolphins, and Ray Lewis of the Ravens for their performances last Sunday. Each week, Degree will honor the league's hottest rookies.
That Eddie George is something. We saw him in when we're watching film of Atlanta Falcons, and as Nate Newton says, he says that guy runs behind his pads. That's where you want to get. If you run the ball, you want to get behind those pads.
He builds them out, too. He's a big guy. Here's Emmitt Smith inside the 20 for another Dallas first down. Less than a minute left to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, they're getting some blocking in there. You get in there behind Nate Newton, Ray Donaldson, and Larry Allen, and you just fire the ball in there. Here's Larry Allen. Here's where they're going to run. They're going to lead in here. Here's big Eric Williams. That's not a bad deal. Boom, look at that double team. I mean, they not only knocked their guy off the line of scrimmage, they knock him sideways, then backwards. I mean, he's looking one way when those two guys hit him, and when they get done hitting him, his head is turned and he's looking the other way.
They're so much bigger. Atlanta's front four undersized. As everybody is when you compare them to the Dallas front offensive line. Pass caught by Irvin at about the 2 from Aikman.
Yeah, I think Troy Aikman throws more passes complete to the 1- and 2-yard line than any quarterback I've ever known. You look at the stats, he doesn't have as many touchdown passes, but he has great accuracy, great completions, and he has more pass receptions end up right down there than any quarterback I've ever seen.
And I don't know why. 7-3. Dallas leads. Bobby Hebert over in front of the Atlanta bench. The medical staff looking at him, and look at what happened to Troy Aikman.
Yeah, here's George Hageman right here, and here's Chuck Smith. Watch him come from the backside, Chuck Smith, and hit Troy Aikman right after he throws the ball. That could have been a serious one. And that's why you say, you know, oh, you don't miss those offensive linemen. Mark Tuinei's not there. George Hageman goes in, and look what Chuck Smith just did to Troy Aikman.
Could have been knee or ankle.
And Troy Aikman has been taking way too many hits. In fact, I think all quarterbacks in the NFL have been taking too many hits this year.
2 tight ends set up now for Dallas. It's Emmitt Smith. A flag on the play. He's in. The hands went up from the officials to signify touchdown.
Emmitt Smith signifies face mask.
Yep.
If it's a face mask, it's going to be a touchdown anyway because the penalty will be against the Falcons.
Jerry Austin is the referee.
See the face mask right there. Whoa, that could even be one of those 15-yard variety face masks.
That's a grab it and hang on.
Yeah, that's a grab it, hang on, and ride it into the end zone. Now, of course, there's no penalty administered here because this is the extra point. The penalty for that play, because it was a touchdown, will be administered on the kickoff.
And we'll wait and see if it's 5 or 15. Bonio will try the extra point.
It was a good drive by the Cowboys, and the only thing that you'd worry about is George Hageman playing left tackle there for Mark Tuinei. I think eventually the Cowboys are going to play Larry Allen.
I think that's the plan. That's the plan, I think.
Yeah, and then they'd have, you know, they'd have Eric Williams at one tackle and Larry Allen at the other tackle, and that would be strength for a long, long time.
And then you have to find a guard.
That's easier to do than to find a left tackle, because if you don't have a left tackle, you see what Chuck Smith just did to Troy Aikman.
Bonio for the extra point. Jet holding. It's 14-3. Dallas, 14:56 left to play in the first half. The Cowboys leading Atlanta 14-3. We just beginning the second quarter. 10 plays, 80 yards. They kept the ball 5 minutes, 44 seconds. Emmitt Smith scored his second of the day. Aikman was 3 out of 3. There was a penalty for a face mask violation. So the kickoff by Bonio will come from the 45-yard line. And there won't be any run back.
That would have been a field goal.
Yeah, it went through.
That was a free kick. They would have got 3 points for that.
Tonight, it's game 1 of the World Series when Javi Lopez and the defending world champion Atlanta Braves take on Bernie Williams and the New York Yankees. Exclusive coverage from Yankee Stadium begins tonight at 7 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox. Yeah, both of Dion's helmets.
Yep, right there. Now, he has his choice. The defensive variety takes the baseball cap off, takes the defensive hat out there. See, the defensive hat has a little more lines going up and down in the face mask. The offensive helmet is open more so he can see better.
Bobby Hebert, the quarterback for Atlanta. That's Jamal Anderson running hard again over the left side, stopped by Darren Woodson.
Yeah, and I mean, a couple things here. One is on most plays, like on 10 of the plays, 10 out of the 14 or so plays that the Falcons have had, they've used a tight end. In fact, you see Mitch Lyons just coming out now. He was in there on that first down play. Usually the Falcons run that run and shoot 4 wide receivers, but most of the time today, to help their running and pass protection, they've been using a tight end and 3 wide receivers.
Anderson is the deep back behind Hebert. Anderson gets the carry again. He gets close to a first down. Right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, Emmitt Smith has 2 touchdowns. Guess who else? This guy, Terry Allen, as he powers over from the 1. 9 touchdowns on the season for Allen. He leads the NFL. Washington on top by 14. Back to Irving, Pat, and John.
Back at Texas Stadium, there's really no excitement, John, like the excitement at RFK Stadium. It's good to see the Redskins playing so well again.
You know, a week ago, Bill Parcells, the New England Patriot coach, said that he thought that Allen was the best back in football right now. He thought Terry Allen was running better now than either Barry Sanders or Emmitt Smith or any of the other guys.
And that's amazing when you think about the fact that Terry Allen had reconstructive surgery on both legs.
Yeah, and that's the big part of the Redskins' success, is, you know, having that. Because we can talk about passing. We know this league is a passing league and all that stuff. But even the Cowboys, when you have to get that big offensive line and that good running back so you can pound in there.
Hebert has Anderson behind him. Anderson's a big guy. 5'10", 235. Here's Hebert. Has caught by Terrence Mathis. That's enough for an Atlanta first down.
Yeah, we were talking earlier how one of the plans that the Falcons were going to do is, you know, kind of run at Broderick Thomas. Well, he's not in there at right end. Shante Carver is in there for the first time. You know, Michael Irvin was suspended for 5 games or 4 games. Shante Carver was suspended for 5 games. And he's number 96 right there. This is his first game back. So he's going to be spotted in there today with Broderick Thomas and sometimes Herman McCormick also.
First down, Atlanta. Flag against Deion Sanders. Intended for J.J. Burton.
One of the things that Bobby Hebert says, he said he's practiced against Deion Sanders. They have all the respect in the world for him, but they're still going to go at him. They are not going to stay away from Deion Sanders.
Number 21 of the defense.
He also said that this guy, J.J. Burton, is very, very quick.
I know, and they thought that his quickness can get away from Deion Sanders' bumps. But it looks like to me that Deion Sanders has him covered like a blanket there. Bobby Hebert saw the back and just hit Deion in the back between the 2 and the 1. I didn't see any pass interference.
Very effective, though, on Bobby Hebert's part. He said we don't want to get in a shootout with these guys, but they're going to have to. They're down 14-3. Hebert back deep. Looking to get out of cover. Does. Gets rid of the ball intended for Bert Emanuel. But he was lucky to come out of that mass of Cowboys alive.
I'll tell you, how about Bobby Hebert? Lucky to come out of that alive. Yeah, one thing last week, you know, we did the Arizona game. They didn't throw a pass on Deion. Today they just thrown that one. And in fact, all season, they've only thrown 12 passes at Deion Sanders.
The drawback to that is the other cornerback, Kevin Smith, is playing so well.
I think Leon Lett's playing the best, and the second best, I think, is Kevin Smith.
Yeah. That's Anderson. Broke 1 tackle. Gets down to about the Cowboy 36. It'll be 3rd and about 6.
And George C. from the South.
Remember the last play I said that Hebert was knocked down. You know, he's been knocked down about 4 or 5 times. You can just look at his face and the way he has a little trouble having his hand find his nose. And you know, because he's getting beaten up. I mean, he's taking that short drop, trying to get rid of that ball quickly, but every time he gets rid of that ball, someone's smashing him.
Well, he had a bad elbow coming in on his throwing arm. That he had drained. Had an open receiver, Burton. That should have been caught. And that would have been a first down. There comes the field goal team, and Anderson certainly has the range.
And we've seen him over the years, you know, indoors and outdoors, make these field goals from this range.
Especially off artificial turf like this. 54 yards this attempt would be. We saw him make a 60-yarder at the Dome in New Orleans.
He has plenty of leg for this one.
And he's got plenty of leg to put the Falcons on the board again. It's 14-6. Dallas leads. 54-yard field goal.
Volumes of the greatest ever video collection, plus an official NFL Films cast, and their latest video, the NFL's toughest players. To enter.
Fox next Sunday, a doubleheader. The 49ers against Houston. Giants, Lions, Panthers, Eagles, Rams, Ravens, Buccaneers, Packers, and then the big doubleheader game, our game. John and I will be heading down to Miami for the long-awaited meeting between the Cowboys and the Dolphins, and Dan Marino should be back. Two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, Marino and Aikman.
Now, if you want to watch how to play quarterback, how to throw a football, watch that game.
Here goes Brock Marion. Took the short kick.
I think old Morton Anderson left all his leg on the field goal because he didn't have any leg there left on that kickoff.
I think he did this on purpose. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why he would either. I mean, I don't know that he just didn't get under it too much, because if you were going to kick something like that, you'd want to kick a line drive or something, but he just lobbed it right out there. Brock Marion is the short guy of the two deep, and he just caught that thing in the run, and he broke it through before the Falcons were ready to do any tackling.
So the Cowboys take over in good field position at the Atlanta 37.
I think Morton Anderson just kicked a number.
I guess maybe he did. Here's Aikman. Incomplete, intended for Michael Irvin. Dallas started after the opening kickoff deep after an 89-yard kickoff return by Walker. Look where they've started from.
Yeah, and that's the reason. I mean, they're starting average from the opponent 43, and their offense is set up to do those kinds of things. Remember, we were talking earlier where they have troubles, where they have to get on the 20 and drive it 80 yards.
That, by the way, was Troy Aikman's first incomplete pass. Here's Emmitt Smith with room to run. Down to about the 31, stopped by Phillips.
You know, and that's the thing you have to do. You get a George Hageman in there playing left tackle. When you lose Mark Tuinei, by the way, Mark Tuinei will not be back today. They took him into the locker room. But you don't want to just get in and pass. You want to run towards him so that he can kind of calm down the guy that he's blocking, so he just doesn't tee off and rush the passer every play.
George Hageman is 6'7" and 330 pounds. Aikman. Incomplete. No flag. Intended again for Michael Irvin. McKyer, the veteran Tim McKyer, who's always been very vocal.
Yeah, you don't want to trash talk against Tim McKyer. I mean, he may not be able to cover you, and he may jump things. You know, he'll sometimes squat on things, or he'll jump on and out. You can get a double move on him, but you don't want to get in a talking contest with Tim McKyer. No. We've seen Tim McKyer.
He's going to win that one all the time.
He's going to win that one. We've seen him all over.
Bonio's field goal attempt from 49 yards. That's going to get there. And that, too, is good. 154 by Morton Anderson, 49 by Chris Bonio. 17-6. In Atlanta 6 in the second quarter at Texas Stadium.
Hey, Cowboys!
Chris Bonio to kick it off. That's going to be Eric Metcalf at the 1. Steps over a couple of tacklers. Now he's got a little room. Gets outside the 25-26. Our Aflac trivia question this week. Who are the only head coaches to win both the Super Bowl in the NFL, of course,
and an NCAA national title. The only head coaches to accomplish that.
So that probably has to be a coach that came from college as a head coach.
I was going to say that
into the NFL.
About eliminates you, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's. I was never up for any of those considerations.
Well, Super Bowl championship you were. You did,
but not that NCAA stuff. You know, there's three areas that they get coaches from college, or an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator. It was interesting to think which you think is the best of those three areas.
17-6. This is Bobby Hebert. Jamal Anderson. The Aflac trivia question again. Who are the only head coaches to win both a Super Bowl and an NCAA national title? We'll see him next week. Jimmy Johnson, who of course was here with Dallas, won 2 Super Bowls, won a national championship when he was at the University of Miami. Barry Switzer, at whom you look. And next week, we'll see the battle between the Cowboys and the Dolphins, the match between Barry and Jimmy and Jerry and Jimmy. And it's 2nd and 5.
Well, now you're talking.
Serves forward, close to a first down. George Teague made the stop.
Hey, you forget how big Jamal Anderson is. I mean, he's like 240, 245 pounds. And the thing that he can really do is this, finish off a run. I mean, he's going to get hit. Now, he gets his shoulder square. Now, it's not a first down yet, but right there, it became a first down. And that's the difference. Well, it became a short, third and short. I thought it looked like he got the first down from here.
He thought
He thought he had it. Then you look, it's 3rd and inches.
Hebert signal for
quarterback sneak.
Emmanuel to go in motion. No quarterback sneak. That's Anderson. Teague came up to make the hit, but Anderson got his first down that time.
I figured if he wasn't going to get it last time, then just get it this time. But it looked like that lunge. I mean, I like that thing they did. He was tackled, and then he just went boom, and he gave it one more lunge, and looked like he had the first down. Didn't get it, then came back and got it on that play.
Eric Metcalf comes into the Atlanta offensive scheme. Anderson's the deep back. Metcalf in the slot. Casillas is number 75, Tony Casillas, who was with the Cowboys, signed with Kansas City, wound up with the Jets, and then this year in the offseason came back to the Cowboys.
And now they have Broderick Thomas is playing this other defensive end for the Cowboys, and Shante Carver's playing the right side. Broderick Thomas there, normally a linebacker, today because of the run and shoot, playing as a down defensive lineman. He has it a little easier on this side than he does on the other side. Bob Whitfield's one of the best tackles in the league at the left tackle for the Falcons.
Here's Hebert. Incomplete. Bert Emanuel, the intended receiver, Kevin Smith, the defender.
Ooh, someone talked him into something.
Jerry Austin over.
That's the second tight one against the Cowboys. The first one against Deion Sanders, I didn't feel was a penalty.
Kevin Smith doesn't feel this is a penalty against him.
No, and they called it on Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is right down here, and you're going to see the first 5 yards, again, they can bump. It's okay there. Now the ball's in the air. It must have been before the ball got there where he stuck his right hand up there.
Well, the Falcons run this pattern, the stop fade, they call it.
Yeah, they just run up the field and then stop, and the quarterback throws the ball short. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to run that stop fade on Kevin Smith.
1st and 10, Atlanta. Jamal Anderson, the carrier. Flag on the play. Anderson out of bounds in front of the Cowboy bench, but a penalty marker down.
Bobby Hebert knew it was against him already because he never even came up. He just started to walk backwards, and he's back darn near to the 30-yard line now.
holding. Number 86 of the offense.
That's the
10
tight
yards.
end,
Repeat
Lyons,
first down.
who doesn't normally play as much as he had today.
Watch what they're going to do. You know, here's Deion Sanders here. Now, one of the things that they want to do is they want to run outside and make him come up and do that. And Deion Sanders so far in this half has been doing that. Again, you know, some people confuse Deion with not liking to tackle as much as he does with other things by not being a good tackler. But you don't see Deion Sanders miss a lot of tackles.
I think it's right. I don't think he likes to tackle. Not too many people do.
He calls that a business decision.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a big running back coming out there and you have to make a business decision.
He won't get many bigger than this guy. Jamal Anderson gets up to about the original line of scrimmage. Tony Tolbert.
Well, the Falcons do have one bigger than this guy here that they can bring in. And Jamal Anderson plays about 80% of the plays. Then the other 20% go to Craig Ironhead Hayward. Now, when the Ironhead gets in there, he's bigger than Jamal Anderson. And then that's a guy, you know, any defensive back will say that they want to hit Ironhead before he makes eye contact with him.
2nd and 10. Ironhead's over 250, but he has a bad shoulder. That's why he doesn't play as much as he used to. Here's Hebert. Wide open is Terrence Mathis, and Mathis is down at the Cowboy 1. Hebert just barely got rid of it and just barely got it there. He was hit by Chad Hennings just as he was releasing.
And you watch, Mathis is the inside guy. Now what happens is they stay outside out here, and then Mathis just comes down inside. Here's the outside guy. Here's Mathis here. You see, if they stay outside, and no one is covering down the middle. They took the corner. Kevin Smith took him way to the outside and then just split the corner and the safety and threw it right between them to Terrence Mathis.
1st and goal at the 1 for Atlanta. Anderson. Don't think so. Broderick Thomas, the first man to hit him.
See, this is where they need a lead blocker, and this is one of the problems with the run and shoot. Is that they don't have a lead blocker. You know how the Cowboys do? They always have Moose Johnston, and he leads, and Emmitt Smith comes in there behind. And this run and shoot, there's only one back there to carry the ball, and there's not a guy to lead for him. See this formation here? It's tough to run.
About a half-yard short. Anderson's a deep back. Hebert directing. Better hurry. Incomplete. Burton, the intended receiver, they just barely got it off.
Yeah, this is a problem they've always had, is down here in the goal line, again, not having that lead blocker. And you see what Bobby Hebert did is he called an audible. He was just going to try and throw that quick slant in there. But again, he was working on Deion Sanders, and you're not going to get easier those short touchdowns against Deion Sanders.
They only need about a foot.
And that's a tough thing. I mean, you think even if they just took a quarterback sneak, they would have had a better chance.
Or just give it to big Jamal Anderson.
But they're going to gang up on that. See what I mean? That's the thing. With no lead block, you're always going to have a free guy running at your running back. That's the thing. That's a coach killer.
They got to go. Anderson's got the ball almost touching the goal line.
Well, now, in this situation, you just almost have the quarterback sneak. But you see how you have all these free guys here? If you don't have a lead blocker, then these linebackers are going to get free reign. They get a free read and no one blocking them. That ball did look like it was on the goal.
Yes, it did.
That looked like it broke the plane there.
That looked like a touchdown. Now they have no running back.
This has to be a quarterback sneak.
Hebert will
had to do that. There was no back there.
Hebert sneaks it in. Now the decision to go for 2.
And June Jones is out on the field. Half their players are out on the field, and they're signaling to go for 2. Bear looked like he came out of that thing. See the problem with a quarterback sneaking a quarterback is you have to lead with your head.
Yep.
You know, and you have to stick your head in there, and there's about 2,000 pounds a guy that you're sticking your head into.
You got to get your head in there before you get the ball in there.
That's right, or before you bring the rest of your stuff in there. I mean, because of your shoulders and your arms and your waist and all that stuff is behind your head.
So the Falcons will go for 2. It's 17-12. Metcalf is a man in motion. Anderson's the lone setback. And Anderson's going to get the carry, and he's not getting anywhere.
The old draw on the goal line will never make a touchdown.
Chad Hennings. Not fooled, and they're in a hurry.
That's a tough thing. A draw is a delayed play, and you never, ever want to delay in the goal line.
Why would you call it?
I don't know.
Wendy's, where hot and juicy hamburgers made fresh right when they're ordered keep the fans coming back, presents great comebacks. In the 92 AFC playoffs, the Oilers nearly closed the book on Denver by taking a 22-point lead. Stay tuned to see what happened.
Dave, darling, I saw your grilled chicken sandwich commercial the other day and you looked fabulous. Anyway, I had to try one. Honey, it was delicious. The whole breast filet is bigger, plumper, and juicier than ever. And they made it fresh right when I ordered it. Dave, just between us, it was so good I had to. Don't tell. Love and kisses, Iman.
You know Iman?
When you got it, you got it.
Try Wendy's new plumper, juicier grilled chicken sandwich.
Behind Greg Lewis, Vance Johnson, and John Elway, Denver pulled within 1 point. Finally, the Broncos drove almost the length of the field, successfully converting 2 fourth-down situations, allowing David Treadwell to kick the game winner.
Can't believe he broke it at the company picnic.
Incredible.
(17-12). Dallas leading Atlanta. The punters have been rather quiet today. There hasn't been a punt.
That's either great offense or bad defense. Last week we had the opposite kind of game.
Here's another short kick by Morton Anderson. After he kicked that 40, Walker finally got possession, was knocked backwards, finally fielded at about the 6-yard line. I'm not sure what's going on with Morton Anderson in these kicks.
I'm not sure what's going on with this weather. Look at this rain coming down.
Yeah. Let's go back and look at that exchange between Jamal Anderson.
And that's Mike Zandowski that he's mad at, and I'm going to show you why he's mad at him. Here's Mike Zandowski. Here's Chad Hennings. And this is what strength on defense will do for the goal line. Watch what Chad Hennings does to Zandowski. He just runs right by him, throws him halfway into the backfield. And no wonder Jamal Anderson didn't have a chance on that draw play.
He just barely got the ball. Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt with a couple of jukes gets outside the 10 to about the 13. Stopped by Jesse Tuggle.
Jesse Tuggle has seemed to have been a staple of this Atlanta team for years. I mean, they haven't had a lot of anything solid down there in the Atlanta football. I'm not talking about Atlanta Braves. I mean, they're solid as they could use some of those arms in this offense. But Jesse Tuggle has been one of the solid things of this Falcon organization.
Here's Aikman. Kelvin Martin dropped the ball. Atlanta has it, I believe. Ron George. Martin made the catch, lost the ball. Pass was complete from Aikman to number 83.
And this was the thing that we were talking about. If the Falcons were going to have a chance, they couldn't give turnovers. They had to get turnovers. Troy Aikman gets back. There's a stunt. He has good pass protection, throws the ball to Kelvin Martin a little behind him, but Martin has it. Then he was trying to make a move. You see him when he tried to break those 2 tackles. Watch him as he brings the ball up to make the move. Right here, when he brings the ball up, you see, to get his arms out of the way, the ball just goes right out.
Unusual move with the ball.
I think he was trying to make himself skinny. And he just dropped the ball, and Ron George just jumped right on it.
After a play like that, he'll make himself scarce and skinny.
Sometimes you got to just take the hit there.
Hebert looking to Bert Emanuel. Covered well by Kevin Smith.
You know, again, the run and shoot, they used 3 and 4 wide receivers. I don't think that there's been a completion to an outside receiver yet. I don't know that there's been a completion to an outside receiver all year against this Cowboy defense.
It's tough to throw. They had the pass interference penalty early against Deion Sanders, then an interference penalty against Kevin Smith.
Yeah, that seems to be the most successful thing, and easier to do is to get pass interference on them than it is to complete passes on them.
They're both playing extremely well. Here's Hebert looking. Again, that stop fade. Yeah, Preston, roll Preston.
These guys are trying to, Bobby Hebert is trying to throw the ball to him when they're covered.
Half a distance to the goal. First down.
Roughing the passer, roughing Hebert.
And we're going to see it right here. You see Bobby Hebert throws the ball. Tony Tolbert comes in and throws him to the ground. They've been doing that to Bobby Hebert all day.
I think he did a pretty good salesmanship job on the officials with that one.
Yeah, that was pretty close there.
He didn't really fling him to the ground like you see happen on so often. First and 10.
Well, what they want him to do is after the quarterback throws the ball, they want him to stop. They don't want him to fling him in any way.
They go with the tight end Lions. The handoff is to Jamal Anderson. Anderson inside the 10 for Atlanta to about the 8.5-yard line. Stopped by Fred Strickland.
You know, maybe what Atlanta ought to do, Pat, is to throw from here now, because they're not successful on the goal line. You know, when they get real close, like in that 2-yard line, usually anything inside the 2 is considered goal line.
Well, those wide receivers don't have the room to operate.
June Jones has secrets. You see that? He put those papers up there. He's not going to let anyone read those lips.
Hebert comes over to the side with the 2-minute warning just being given. Keys halftime report coming up with JB and Terry, and scores and highlights from around the NFL, and a preview of tonight's Braves-Yankees World Series game. Game 1 here on Fox. Second from the 8th. They need 6. Hebert. Touchdown. Emmanuel rolling in the end zone.
That's what I thought, that they had a better time getting the ball, and I think they roughed Bobby Hebert again. I think it was Tony Tolbert again.
The flag was late.
Yeah, but it's right there at Bobby Hebert. Watch Tony Tolbert, 92. You see it's the head to the face. He came in there with his right arm and just clubbed Bobby Hebert right in the head.
And here's the touchdown to Emmanuel. Breaks clear. And there's the flag you saw, perhaps.
That's as you see the illegal hands to the face right there. That's the thing that they called. They called that against the Falcons.
It didn't call roughing the passer.
No, I thought they called roughing the passer. They could have called Tony Tolbert. He clubbed Bobby Hebert in the head as he threw that touchdown.
So it's 2nd and 16. No touchdown. Trips right. Handoff to Jamal Anderson, who gets down to about the 14-yard line. Tony Tolbert on the stop, along with some help from other members of the Cowboy defense. 17-12. Game we've been looking forward to, and a lot of people have for a long, long time.
Yeah, and you kind of hope that the Cowboy fans are hoping that the Cowboys haven't been looking too much towards that and forget about this Atlanta Falcon team today.
Forget about this Sunday.
Got to take care of this business now.
3rd down. 1:50 left to play in the first half. Here's Hebert. Look out. Hebert has to unload out to Jamal Anderson. It's incomplete. And here comes Morton Anderson.
I don't know why that third down play, I mean, that throwing it out there to Jamal Anderson, that doesn't work. I mean,
hasn't worked yet.
No, you just have to get the ball in the end zone, because if you're not going to complete it, you're going to try for the field goal anyway. So you may as well take the shot into the end zone, not a shot at the line of scrimmage.
Anderson from 32 yards away. That's much longer than his kickoffs, and it's good. 5th all-time Morton Anderson in his 15-year career. 3rd field goal today, that one from 32 yards, and it's 17-15. The Falcons just had a touchdown call back. And don't forget, coming up, the Dockers Khakis halftime. JB and Terry with the highlights from all around the league. Bobby Hebert.
Bobby Hebert's a tough guy. I mean, he's really been taking a clobbering in there. I mean, they've hit him like 8 or 9 times so far in this first half after he's thrown the ball or when he's thrown the ball. And he's taking a beating, but he hangs in there.
Not only is he a very tough guy, he's a very smart guy.
And, you know, he's a warrior. I mean, he's one of those guys that is not only tough and smart, but enjoys playing the game. I mean, the game is still a game to him, and it's still fun to him. He loves to compete.
Here's Morton Anderson set to kick it off. This one's a better kick to Herschel Walker at about the 1. Walker waiting for things to happen, and the Falcons cover this one while he's waiting.
Yeah, this is where the Cowboys have to get something going here and put another score on the board. And, you know, again, they can do that. They still have 2 timeouts, so they have plenty of time. But this is where they have trouble. I mean, they haven't been able to get big plays. They haven't been able to sustain drives. If they get good field position, they can put the ball in there. But if they don't get good field position, they can't string a lot of successful plays together to have successful drives.
Which is, in past years, has been one of the strong points.
And to do that somewhere in a drive, you need a big play.
3 wide receivers. Aikman back to throw it. Here's hit fumble. The Falcons have it again. Atlanta with a blitz. Recovered by Cornelius Bennett.
That was Tim McKyer. Tim McKyer, normally the left corner, is going to come from the outside. And again, Tim McKyer is going to come from this side here, and Troy Aikman doesn't see him at all. You see him up on top, 22. No one blocks him. Troy Aikman is looking the other way. I tell you, Tim McKyer just puts a clothesline on him. But see, here's McKyer coming here, unblocked. Aikman looking the other way. Didn't see Tim McKyer coming. Didn't even feel him coming. And now the Atlanta Falcons have the ball on the 16-yard line, and they have 3 timeouts.
They can certainly take the lead from here with a kicker like Anderson. They'd like to have the touchdown.
And Tim McKyer is taking bows. Last 2 times the Cowboys have had the ball, they turned it over.
Jamal Anderson bounces to the outside, gets inside the 15, about the 14.
We were talking about these defenses in the NFL, Pat, being ahead of the offenses scheme-wise, and it seems like every game you see a guy breaking free running at the quarterback the way we just saw Tim McKyer. Every game, every team has that somehow the schemes of the defense and their blitzes and zone blitzes are ahead of the schemes of the offenses.
A minute left in the first half, 2nd and 7. Hebert up under the center this time. Fires outside. Out of bounds at about the 10.
And that is a completion to a wide receiver.
Bert Emanuel.
He just caught that little short out. And again, now they still got that 3rd down. And now they don't have to get the ball in the end zone. I mean, they can pass the ball. This is a passing down, but they can get a 1st down without scoring a touchdown. And again, with 3 timeouts left, 44 seconds, time is not a problem here.
Hebert put some trips right this time. 3 wide receivers to the right. Would figure he's going to throw to that side. But he's not. going in the other direction. Incomplete. Deion Sanders was tested by J.J. Burton. And it may not be a wise decision to go in that direction.
I don't think so, especially, you know, when you just have this short. You only have from here to here. This is as far as you can go. So you're not going to work inside or outside. You're just going to try and get beyond them. And even if you get beyond Deion Sanders, he is so quick and so fast, he's going to catch up with it like he did there.
He always knows where the ball is as well.
He is a great cover corner, maybe the best that ever played this game.
Morton Anderson hits his 4th field goal from 28 yards, and the Falcons take the lead. 18-17. It could be more.
Well, and that's the way that they were going to get a chance. If they had any chance in this game, they had to eliminate turnovers themselves and get turnovers. And in this first half, they did, and that's how they just got their last 6 points. Remember, they got a fumble recovery,
right?
And then the second one when Tim McKyer came and put that hit on Troy Aikman, and he fumbled.
Deion Sanders has been thrown at 3, none complete. There have been 17 pass attempts. 3 times they went at Deion Sanders. They got 1 pass interference, no completion.
Yeah, usually, you know, like last week when the Cardinals came in here, they decided that they weren't going to throw any on Deion, and they went a whole game without throwing a pass in Deion's area. Now here the Falcons come in, and again, Deion Sanders played for the Falcons, so a lot of these players know him, and they didn't want to let him go untested in this game.
Herschel Walker, who bought the opening kickoff back 89 yards, back with Brock Marion, but they'd like Walker to handle it. Brock Marion is actually up about the 10-yard line. Walker standing deep. And he's going to handle it a yard deep in the end zone. Again, Walker tiptoeing around in the wedge and gets out to the 25.
How can a kicker sweat that much in only a half a play?
4 field goals.
Well, that'll make you sweat. I mean, you shouldn't have that much water coming out of your head.
Well, it rained, remember, just briefly. Don't forget, Game 1 of the World Series coverage begins 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 Pacific. John Smoltz against Andy Pettit, both of whom just had outstanding years.
I don't think you want to be talking about rain and wet heads when you're talking about Game 1 of the World Series. They're having a problem with that, aren't they?
Aikman just barely got rid of it, but it's complete to Michael Irvin. McGill made the stop. Aikman took a serious hit again.
And again, it's just this side right here. This is where the pressure comes from. It's a stunt that time, and both guys that stunted got free.
It's a Dallas timeout, so they have 1 left. Aikman really got hit. Last couple of times he's really taken a hard lick.
When you have a guy like Mark Tuinei who's been there for 14 years, you kind of take him for granted, and you know, he picks up his guy, blocks the stunts, he and Nate Newton, and you don't say anything about it. Then you take a Mark Tuinei out there, you put a George Hageman in there, and it looks like a jailbreak.
That was just a simple stunt that you see all the time, but they just didn't pick it up.
Well, you know, Nate Newton again has been working with Mark Tuinei. Tuinei's not there. Here's going to be the stunt up on this side. You see, you get this type of thing where these 2 guys cross. These 2 guys have to block them. And you see Chuck Smith goes to the outside. He goes by Nate Newton.
They beat them both.
And then George Hageman was still in his stance. He still had that 340 pounds on the line of scrimmage when they were hitting Troy Aikman.
1st and 10. Aikman back to throw. They pick up the blitz. Aikman gets it to Irvin. Somehow the offense has got to figure out a way to counteract what the defenses are doing. You just can't have guys running loose and hitting your quarterback like we've seen both sides of the ball today.
Yeah, and what you have to do, I mean, the answer is going to be to that is you have to keep more guys in. You have to keep a tight end in once in a while. You have to keep, you know, a back or both backs in and go some form of maximum protection when you really expect it.
1st and 10. Coming back to throw, has to step up into the pocket, is hit by George just as he let it go.
Chuck Smith and George, you're going to see it from this side, just coming off here, off this side where they're going to have an extra man. And in fact, they tried to keep Bjornsson in to help, and he didn't really help anything. And Emmitt Smith missed too, so they got 2 whiffs on one guy. I mean, one thing you can do it by scheme, you can keep him in there. Well, you see that Troy Aikman has been sacked once. He's been hit 6 times, and he's had a forced fumble on him once in this first half.
He was saying to us yesterday he's been hit a lot.
And another time.
Going to be hit again. From the outside is Cornelius Bennett.
Yeah, and Troy Aikman is really frustrated. I mean, you know, because it's all coming from that left side where they missed Mark Tuinei. That time they put Cornelius Bennett out here. Here they bring Cornelius Bennett right here. He's in this. You see, he shifted there. They had Clay Matthews. They just shifted him in late. They didn't account for him. The only guy that could have blocked him was Emmitt Smith coming across, and he didn't get there.
Hageman could have blocked him early. He just let him go. That's the end of the first half with the score. Atlanta 18, Dallas 17. James Brown and Terry Bradshaw will be along with the Dockers Khakis halftime report following these messages.
I'm James Brown. Let's get you caught up on the scoreboard. Hey, A-Bear, he does have reason to smile, but not here.
Oh, Herschel Walker back on kickoffs. There he is, receives it, breaks 2 tackles, bumps it to the outside. We all know this man has sprinter speed. Down the sideline, wants to get that Super Bowl ring, but whoa, hey, wait a minute. Devin Bush trips him up. That sets up this touchdown pass from Troy Aikman, 9 yards. Emmitt Smith, touchdown 103 in Emmitt Smith's career. Cowboys at this point up by 7. Back comes A-Bear, 4th down to go. Who do you give it to? Give it to the power back, the quarterback sneak. The Falcons come back. Look at this, 18-17 over the Cowboys. What about their 0-7 road game there? They haven't won a game in 7 games there.
Tuinei out with a sprained right knee. Who is that, Terry?
That's Terry Allen. This is his 2nd touchdown rushing on the day. A big first half for Terry Allen. Also Gus Farad back. He pumps wide. He gets the safety looking, biting, turns around, then gets into position. There's Henry Ellert all the way down to the 2-yard line. That set up a 3rd touchdown rushing by whoops, there he goes. That was by Terry Allen, that is. Now, here's Dave Brown, intercepted by Darrell Green. He'll return it for a touchdown. Look for a quarterback change at half. Look for Cannell to come in and quarterback for the Giants. What better place to start than 28 down?
Skins looking for the first sweep of the Giants since 91. Saints!
Zellers, running back in the doghouse in New Orleans. He came back and responded with a challenge by Moore. Unlike our guy down in Jeff George, down in Atlanta, who quit on the Falcons, this guy didn't quit on the Saints. Saints over the Panthers, 7-6 at half.
Ex-Dolphin Irving Fryer, 3 touchdown receptions in the first half from Ty Detmer, looking to beat up on the Dolphins, and the Colts trailing by 4. When we come back to Doctor's Halftime, we'll talk about what?
We're going to talk about the World Series Atlanta Braves.
Newscast for tonight. Well, let's check in with our baseball guys in New York for the latest. Chip.
The Falcons 18, Dallas 17.
And you know what they did? I mean, the Falcons really came after the Cowboys. I mean, they have a blitz package, and they were going after Aikman. And you can see there was a fumble. Here they do it with a stunt. They don't get blocked. And you know, not only have they taken the aggressiveness out of this Cowboy offensive line, but they have frustrated, especially at the end of the first half. I mean, look at the frustration in Troy Aikman as he goes off the field. He doesn't have a chance. I mean, he doesn't have a chance. He goes back there, and the defensive linemen are back there before he is. Now, this is frustration. I mean, here's Eric Williams on the other side. The action and where they're having a problem is on the left side. But Eric Williams knows there's nothing that he can do about it. There's nothing that anyone can do about it. And I think the Cowboys, if they're going to get in this game, they have to get upset. I mean, they have to get mad and say, look, you know, we got all this fancy stuff. We got this guy. We got this, we got the whole thing. We got to go out and play tough, aggressive football and take it to these guys.
Frustration can lead to anger. Excuse me, and that's what they need.
Yeah, and you never want to, let the anger take over. What you want to do is you want to just become more aggressive because of it. You never want to follow your temper into trouble.
Right.
You want to kind of keep your temper out and then just bring the aggressiveness. I mean, just playing football, and they just have to block, and they have to tackle, and they have to catch and throw and do all those kinds of things. And at some point, I think the Cowboys are going to have to move Larry Allen to left tackle. Whether they do it within this game or not, I'm not sure.
I think they better do it within this game. Munoz to kick it off. Metcalf will handle for Atlanta at the 3. And he is knocked down by Javika Pittman.
Maybe the Cowboys talked about that at halftime.
Maybe so. First half statistics.
Yeah, here's the big thing. I mean, look at this. The Cowboys had 2 turnovers. That's one way that they can lose to Atlanta. And then here, the Falcons had the ball 20 minutes. The Cowboys only had the ball 9 minutes. I think those are the 2 most important things, that the Cowboys turned it over, and then the Falcons, scored when they turned it over, and then the Falcons have played a little keep away, then that adds to frustration.
1st and 10 Atlanta with Bobby Hebert still the quarterback at their own 18-yard line. Mitch Lyons, the tight end, to Hebert's right. The Falcons lead by a point. Just got the play off. Hebert, middle, caught, fumbled, ball's bouncing. Strickland came up with it, and the Cowboys get a break.
Yeah, but there's one official back there that's saying the ball's dead, Pat.
Right.
The deep guy is saying that the ball's dead.
Or else he's saying he was still juggling, and it's an incomplete pass. Terrence Mathis.
I think it's the field judge right there. I think he come up and he waved his hands like this, where you got the palms down, flat, and you're waving them back and forth. I think he was waving that it's an incomplete pass. Hebert's looking there, makes the pass there. I don't know about that. That looked like a fumble. It looked like he had it and was stripped from the ball.
2nd and 10. Again, Hebert changing the play, and they relay the message to the outside receivers. Bobby Hebert tripped up, gives the ball to Anderson on the way back, and Anderson will get an Atlanta Falcon first down, running over and bowling over everybody.
And that's what Bobby Hebert has to do. Bobby Hebert, he comes out there, that's that screen pass that he kind of throws like a shovel pass. You're going to see him come out and go back and then throw the shovel pass here. But it's a screen pass to the running back. See, he sprints out, and you see Anderson in here, and then he just underhands the ball to Anderson, and doing that, he had to hold on to it, and he took that hit.
A gain of 21 yards. Hebert got kicked in the ankle, it appeared, just as he was falling down.
He has to do that, but he has to sprint out and it's kind of an option type thing, and then he just underhands it to Jamal Anderson on a screen.
Anderson gets the carry. He's tripped up in the backfield
by Leon Lett. Leon Lett had about 5 yards of penetration on that play. Watch Leon Lett here. This is the way that you take off when the ball snapped and you get into their backfield.
Actually, the man was blocking Leon Lett. Leon controlled him, so Robbie Tobeck.
Yeah, Robbie Tobeck was trying to block him, and Leon Lett just took Robbie Tobeck and rammed him right into Jamal Anderson.
And tripped him up. 2nd and 13. Falcons lead by a point. 3rd quarter at Texas Stadium. Hebert out of the spread. And out of the pocket. Fell down and recovered. And he's hit by Leon Lett and Broderick Thomas.
If you look at this, Pat, every time the Falcons had the ball in that first half, they scored. And that was good offense. They were scrappy. I mean, they had a field goal, then they finally got the touchdown on the quarterback sneak, and then 2 more field goals. So they scored 4 field goals in a touchdown. In the first half, they had 5 possessions, and they scored every time they had the ball.
The bad part of that is 4 times it was field goals.
And they did have 1 touchdown call back, remember, on that hands to the face penalty.
The draw play, and it's Jamal Anderson. On 3rd down, he gets outside the 40, and we'll see Atlanta punt.
But at least they got about 10 yards more of field position there.
Straczynski is the Atlanta punter. Back deep Kelvin Martin. First punt of today's contest. Handled at the 10. Good kick, good coverage. June Jones conversing with Bobby Hebert. Atlanta 18, Dallas 17. Pat Summerall, John Madden. Cowboys have the ball, and they give it to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt knocked out of bounds at about the 19-yard line by Chuck Smith.
You know, the Falcons are carrying something over in this second half, Pat, that's interesting. They're putting Cornelius Bennett down as a defensive lineman, and in essence, they're playing a 5 defensive lineman alignment. You see, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive linemen. Here's Cornelius Bennett. That won't give them so much trouble on the running game because they're running away from Cornelius Bennett. But if they keep lining up that way, they're going to have trouble with pass protection against that.
This is Smith again. To the 20, Travis Hall, who's taped up and back, retaped and back, I should say.
That was amazing. Remember that hit that Eric Williams put on him in the first half. I think what they decided this time is in this second half, they're going to run to the right side. They're going to get in there behind Larry Allen and Eric Williams. But the Falcon defense played it pretty well, and instead Travis Hall being back there is a big surprise.
Yeah, he played very well. 2 tight ends. Clay Shiver, one of the tight ends. Emmitt Smith doesn't get the first down.
Again, it's Cornelius Bennett right there, number 97. He got the penetration. He's really had a heck of a game so far. I mean, both as a linebacker and as a down defensive lineman.
And rushing the passer.
You're going to see him right here. You see, he's kind of hunkered down there, kind of hiding, and watch him hit that gap. I mean, Daryl Johnston tried to cut him, and he went right over Daryl Johnston and into Emmitt Smith. Heck of a play by Cornelius Bennett.
John Jett back to kick. Terrence Mathis deep for Atlanta. Jett's kick short. Mathis got a devastating block. McKyer.
You know who that devastating block was by?
Haywood.
I think that was Ironhead Hayward. Ironhead, he just did there and did the old flat job.
He put...
That was a pancake.
Put the darkness.
Here's the ball carrier, here's the tackler, and here's the lurcher. The lurcher here is Ironhead Hayward. Now watch what happens when he sees that. Because I said you have to get him before he sees you. You see, if you don't see him, Ironhead is going to unload on you.
Coach's clicker. And Ironhead clicked out the lights.
That's what they always say. They say you want to get Ironhead before he eyeballs you.
Hey there, pass complete to Bert Emanuel. Stopped by Kevin Smith. Wendell Davis. That's who Ironhead hit with that block.
Wendell Davis didn't eyeball Ironhead, and he's still trying to figure out where he came from.
He should be easy to find.
Look at Ironhead. He's still laughing about it. He says, I was there, and he said he was all ready to go make the tackle. I just came and unloaded all my 260 pounds on him. It used to be 300.
Casillas jumped and pointed.
Where did poor old Mike Zandowski? Everyone's been pointing at old Zandowski today. Remember?
His own team.
His own guy pointed at him after that draw play down in the goal line. That time Tony Casillas pointed at him saying poor old Zandowski moved.
Before the snap, ball start, number 72.
That's
5
old,
yards.
That's old Zandowski.
Now the official's pointing at it.
There's Zandowski. And it's just a slight little rock. It's no big deal. You see, he just got a little. Usually those guys will rock backwards. Zandowski kind of rocked forward. backwards, where backward rock would be a pass protection, or forward rock would be blocking on a running play.
2nd and 9.
A little picky on Zandowski. He didn't hurt anyone.
Bear into the pocket. Gets it to Terrence Mathis, and Mathis goes out of bounds inside the 30. Right now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, Giants have got a little something cooking. Take a look here at Dave Brown working to Thomas Lewis, who's working on Darrell Green and beats him. Lewis already with over 100 yards receiving. Giants have scored again, cut the Redskins' lead in half, that in the 3rd. Back to Pat and John.
We're in the 3rd quarter here. 8:35 left to play in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10.
Well, you always stay with the quarterback. You never know what he's going to do in the 2nd half. Dave Brown.
If he can stay upright. That's to Metcalf. And Metcalf down to the Dallas 21.
You know, it's interesting. Last night when we talked to June Jones about Eric Metcalf, he said that he's not going to play, or he's not going to start anyway, but he's going to maybe return kicks and punts. And I thought, geez, that's kind of funny. If you can return kickoffs and punts, you ought to be able to play offense. And they didn't start him. They started Freddie Scott.
Right.
And now things start going, and maybe Metcalf feels better, and he's in there because he's a threat. I mean, he's the one guy that on any play can take it to the end zone.
That's his first catch today. 2nd down at the 21 of Dallas. Jamal Anderson surges inside the 20, and that should be enough for a first down. He's brought down by Leon Lett.
You know, one thing that they're missing over there in that Cowboy, that right side of the defense is Charles Haley.
Yeah.
And, you know, that the run and shoot, you have to play with one less linebacker and more defensive backs, but they've been trying to get someone at that right defensive end, and they've had Shante Carver in there. They've had Broderick Thomas over there, and whoever they put over there, that's the side that the Falcons have been working today.
This time it's Broderick Thomas. This time, Jamal Anderson comes this way, and he's caught from behind by Broderick Thomas.
Yeah, they're better to run at Broderick Thomas than they are to run away from Broderick Thomas, because he was a defensive end that time. Shante Carver was the end before, and they just put Broderick Thomas in there. You can see Shante Carver limping there. They took him off, limping off on that last play. But Broderick Thomas, you know, can catch you from behind, and what he has trouble is muscling up against a big tackle in Bob Whitfield.
Bob Whitfield, probably Atlanta's most effective offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think by far. I think Bob Whitfield, one of the best offensive linemen in all the league.
2nd and 9. Jamal Anderson broke a couple of tackles, gets down to about the 5 before he's brought down by George Teague and Fred Strickland.
In fact, it was Bob Whitfield that made that tackle. He didn't block the outside guy. He went in and got the linebacker, and Jamal Anderson ran right off his block. Watch Whitfield here. He doesn't block here. He comes inside. He comes inside and, boom, makes the block here, and Jamal Anderson runs right off that block. You see, he fakes like he's going to block, then, boom, right there, he gets that guy, shields him off, and Jamal Anderson could run right off Bob Whitfield's block.
Anderson, 21 carries for 90 yards. It's 1st and goal at the 6. Jamal Anderson to about the 4. Knocked backwards from there by Tony Tolbert. And Godfrey Miles.
Again, this is the area that the Atlanta Falcons have trouble in. They haven't had trouble controlling the ball. You see their time of possession and the number of plays, you know, more than double in time of possession. But once they get down in this area, they kind of slow down, and 4 out of 5 times they had to settle for field goals.
It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 4.
I think they ought to throw 2 passes. You know, I mean, 2 of the passes into the end zone to one of those slot receivers out there.
I think Bobby Agbear agrees with you. He calls timeout and heads over to the sideline. Back at Texas Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. Atlanta has the ball, second down at the Dallas 4. They lead by a point. June Jones, who's been under fire in Atlanta, trying to put those fires out, and a victory today would have a lot to do with that. Mitch Lyons, the tight end, to the left of Anderson. Mayville. Touchdown. Brady Manuel made the catch and got them both down.
Hey, Bobby Hebert makes a perfect pass there. That's that fade. You know, we've seen him do the fade stop all day. He just threw it right to that back pylon. You have a front pylon on the goal line. You have a back pylon on the end line. And he just throws it right there where the only guy that can catch it is Brady Manuel. See, it's a roll right, throw right, and he throws it right to that back pylon. You see that? In fact, you can practice that without even having a receiver. You just have him throw to that as a target.
Anderson's extra point is good. And it's Atlanta 25, Dallas 17.
This is no ordinary toothbrush. This is a Braun Oral-B plaque remover. The new Braun Oral-B Ultra. It's ultra.
Brady Manuel, and did he have both feet in when he has the ball? Right now, he has the ball. Now, this foot has to be down. The right foot has to be down when he has the ball, because the next time he steps, the right foot's going to be out of bounds. Left foot, right foot out of bounds. So, did he have the ball when that right foot was down? And it was about simultaneous.
Just about. In any case, it was ruled a touchdown, and Anderson's kickoff sails deep to Herschel Walker, 2 yards deep in the end zone. Walker's got some blockers in front. Knocked out of bounds at about the 45, 42-yard line. Lenny McGill knocked Herschel Walker out of bounds. Next Sunday here on Fox, don't forget, John and I'll be in Miami. Those are the early games. 49ers, the Oilers, Giants and Lions, the Buccaneers, Packers. And then the second game, the Cowboys at Miami. Aikman against Marino.
And the Cowboys, as we said before, had better start taking care of this business before they start thinking about next week's business.
Well, next week's business is not being taken seriously by them. Michael Irvin makes the catch. This game's summary brought to you by Budweiser. Atlanta has scored on 6 out of 7 drives, only 1 punt. Dallas has 2 turnovers. Emmitt Smith has 2 touchdowns today. Morton Anderson 4 field goals.
And Bobby Hebert made a perfect pass.
Yes, he
on
did.
That last one to Brady Manuel. Bobby Hebert has really been competitive today.
1st and 10. He's always competitive. Here's Aikman back to throw. Complete to Irvin. Irvin trying to break away from Tim McKyer, who hung on. That's another Dallas first down.
This is what the Cowboys have to do. They just have to get mad. I mean, you can't be satisfied with getting whipped. I mean, at some point where you're getting whipped, you got to turn around and get mad and start doing something about it. And the guys that have to do, I mean, you hear about the triplets. I mean, you hear about, Michael Irvin, and you hear about Troy Aikman, and you hear about Emmitt Smith, Deion Sanders getting all the money. Those guys have to earn their money right now if the Cowboys are going to win this game.
Irvin split wide to the left this time. Emmitt Smith is deep. Aikman looks outside to Bjornson. And Bjornson gets the Dallas first down inside the 20. Anthony Phillips knocked him out of bounds.
You can just feel, the intensity in this defense. I mean, this offense of the Cowboys. You can just feel it in the quickness. Their pace is better. I mean, I haven't seen them have a good pace all year. I mean, where they have a pace where they call the play. Ernie Zampese up here calls the play. They get it in. They get it in the huddle. They get up to the line of scrimmage, and they're sharp and they're crisp.
Now they have that pace.
This is the first time I've seen it all year right now in this drive.
Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith, who's tripped up by Lester Archambault.
And then that's the way to stop that pace, is to get penetration. He said Lester Archambault got it. He got into the backfield before Emmitt Smith could get started.
One guy I don't feel is quite back to what he was is Emmitt Smith.
Now, and even though he has the touchdowns, even though he had over 100 yards last week, I agree with you.
Kelvin Martin in the slot now comes in motion.
This is going to be a pass.
Right. Wide open is Michael Irvin. Irvin does not get in. He stepped out of bounds at about the 3.
Yeah, the Atlanta Falcons have a key, and the reason I said this is going to be a pass is that Moose Johnston wasn't in the backfield.
Right.
You see, Emmitt Smith is back here by himself, and they have a key that anytime Moose Johnston isn't in the backfield, he was split out to the left. It's going to be a pass. Here's Michael Irvin. He turned poor old Tim McGuire.
Look at how much
Did you
room.
see McGuire?
Whoa, look
McGuire was running back to the post. He thought it was going to be a post. He was running back to the post, and Michael Irvin was running an out pattern. What a move by Michael Irvin.
There's Emmitt Smith again, and he flashes into the end zone, standing up. Irvin has 6 catches, 102 yards. Emmitt Smith has 3 touchdowns.
And you could see that. You could see the urgency. The Cowboys, for the first time on this drive, had some urgency. They're going to go for 2 now. The extra point, they started to run it in, then they ran it back off, and they're keeping their offense in there. They better get Emmitt Smith back in there.
They're going to try to tie it up. Atlanta leads 25-23.
They look like they have some kind of talking to, either talking to themselves or someone else talking to them on this drive.
Moose Johnston in motion. Aikman just does get rid of it, gets the 2 points to Michael Irvin. Aikman hit just as he let it go.
You're going to see Chuck Smith again, number 90. He's not blocked. He comes in from that right side, and he hits Aikman just as he throws that ball.
How can you not block him? Tie score.
On that 2-point play, here's Chuck Smith here. George Hageman blocks out. Nate Newton blocks down, and they let Chuck Smith go free. George Hageman, what's he doing? There's no one coming on that side. He lets Chuck Smith come free right on Troy Aikman, and Aikman makes an amazing pass.
Really? Going backward.
Going backward, he had to be going backward because Chuck Smith was coming forward on him.
Fonyo's kick is going to be handled by Metcalf at the 3. Eric Metcalf brought down inside the 20. Caught by Billy Davis.
See, now they finally got that urgency, and you can see this. I mean, Troy Aikman makes a heck of a play. Michael Irvin makes the catch, and then you can just see that the enthusiasm is not only here when they score, but that enthusiasm was there the whole drive.
Troy Aikman was saying how important it is to get your feet set. You look at Emmitt Smith trying to get the crowd involved. He had both feet in the air when he threw that pass.
Well, and he had to again because no one blocked Chuck Smith. That'll wake your eyes up if they were droopy.
25 time, Mitch Lyons.
Even in this crowd's into it now. Now we're talking. Now we got a football game.
Most noise we've had in a long time. All day today. Outside Anderson, who delivers a blow and takes a blow.
I think the fans know about this urgency, too. The fans know we can talk about Jimmy and Jerry and Barry and, you know, and Michael Irvin back and all that stuff. But if they don't win, those games don't mean a darn thing if you're sitting 3 and 4. I mean, somewhere, if you're going to be the defending champions, you have to start defending your championship.
You got to get more wins than losses. It can't be 3 and 3. It's got to be 4 and 3 and more.
You see what Kevin Smith tried to do there? He didn't even try and wrap his arms around him. He just tried to knock Jamal Anderson out.
2nd and long. Hebert to Anderson. And again, the Cowboys win the battle with Anderson. More than one.
And Kevin Smith is out there again tackling like a linebacker. I mean, they want to challenge him. They're going to get a guy who's out there who's going to hit. I mean, he sticks his helmet in there. He has to go out. He's had 2 of those hits in a row. But watch Kevin Smith right here come up to the outside, and he just, boom, he just unloads with his shoulder. That's a cornerback with a linebacker hit. Now he has his helmet off. I mean, he's down on one knee here without his hat. Maybe he got the hat knocked off.
That's the end of the quarter. And I think, for one, Kevin Smith's glad that quarter's over. 25, Dallas 25. The Falcons have the ball 3rd and about 8 at their own 20.
Kevin Smith is out there still shaking that shoulder from those last 2 great hits he had on Jamal Anderson.
Greg Haywood is now behind Hebert. Haywood started in motion. Hebert just does get rid of it. The pass is batted down. Pressured by Leon Lett again.
All year, anytime the Cowboys needed a big play, they were going to get it from this guy, big cat Leon Lett. Watch him here, the quickness. He really splits a double team. Yep. And the thing that he does, he keeps his feet. He keeps his feet moving all the time. Doesn't get tripped up. He's always going forward towards the quarterback. The guy that tipped that ball, though, was Broderick Thomas.
Big Leon Lett split that double team, as you said. Here's Straczynski back to punt it. Short kick. Kelvin Martin says get away from it. It takes an Atlanta bounce. And out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. A flag on the play.
And if something happened out of bounds, Pat, it's one of those things where the guy that was going downfield got caught out on the Atlanta sideline.
He's still there.
And you're going to see this is a gunner, and you have 2 guys on him. Darren Woodson is just going to push him, knocked him right out of bounds, and knocked him right into a coach. Now, there's nothing illegal there yet. I mean, they just, in fact, that wasn't a coach. That was a player.
Jerron Bolden.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they just doubled him and knocked him right out of bounds. Sometimes you hit him so hard, they think there has to be something illegal.
Personal foul, number 30 of the receiving team. Late hit out of bounds, 15 yards.
30 is George Teague. Let's see what happened.
It's right there. See, it was after the play.
Yeah.
The play was a pretty good play, and then it was over, and then number 30, George Teague, came up and did that.
So the Cowboys are moved back.
I am Wall Street. Every day, people come to me with one thing on their mind.
Killer of hopes, smasher of egos.
First down, Cowboys. Emmitt Smith gets the carry. Gets dragged down from behind by Chuck Smith.
Yeah, if you watch that penalty on George Teague, you're going to see he's number 30 here, and his job is to hold up the gunner. Now, they double team him, and you see what happens. He makes a pretty good hit there, and then Shelby just grabs him to the ground, rolls him, then he gets up, then he's still hitting him, and then when he hits him right there, that's the thing that they saw, and they called a penalty on.
You saw the official arrive just as he delivered the bowl.
But there was a heck of a lot going on before he delivered that last
one. 11. Tuggle was blitzing up the middle, intended for Deion Sanders. Jesse Tuggle hurried Aikman.
And Deion Sanders probably wasn't looking when Aikman had to throw the ball, because when Tuggle came free, and it seems like this scheme of the Atlanta Falcons has been pretty effective, because it seems like there's been most of the day a guy running free at Troy Aikman. Sometimes he's gotten rid of the ball, sometimes he's completed it, but there have been times when he's taken some big hits too because of that.
3rd and 11. Here comes the blitz again. Aikman has to throw early. Intended for Irvin.
And that was Tuggle on the blitz. Yep. The time before, he went straight up the middle. This time he started in the middle, looped to the outside, and they didn't pick him up, and Troy Aikman had to get rid of the ball. You see, here's Tuggle here. He's going to come to this side this time. Last time he went straight up the middle. You see him come to the outside. Again, he comes free. Troy Aikman sees him coming at him, and he had to get rid of the ball.
All the offensive lineman could do was wave at him as he went by.
Again, I think this Atlanta Falcon defense and Rod Russ, their defensive coordinator, has had great scheme all day.
Jets kick is a dandy. Terrence Mathis fields it. Is taken down immediately. George Teague down in a hurry to make the stop. 49-yard punt, 2-yard return.
McDonald's new Crispy Chicken Deluxe. With an all-white meat breast fillet, fresh lettuce, and tomato on a bakery soft roll. It's a grown-up reminder that you're never too old to drool. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
It can't be. I got to see. It is. The 365.
Boss, give a look. Ugye ez egy IBM ThinkPad. 365-ös.
Az bizony. It could be no other. Feel the track point. Feast your eyes on the screen. Can we swing it, boss, huh?
Meglepően olcsó.
Yeah. That's my boss. What a guy, huh?
I am Wall Street. Every day, people come to me with one thing on their minds, getting more for less. Will they find it in stocks, or bonds, or precious metals?
The all-new ES300.
Ah, so the smart money's in metal.
More of a Lexus, less of a price. At your Lexus dealer.
Now, with 50% more tender filet than before, McDonald's new Fish Filet Deluxe is sure to satisfy your grown-up needs and desires. For lunch. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
Sunday used to be the quietest night of the week. Not anymore.
Get an ambulance!
The X-Files on its new night, Sunday, October 27th.
Next Sunday here on Fox, the 49ers face the Oilers. Giants take on the Lions, Panthers, Eagles, and in the second game, the late game in Miami, the Cowboys against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are coming back, and the Cowboys have tied Atlanta. But Atlanta has the ball at their own 35. Bobby Hebert. Pass complete to Mathis. Right now, again, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
In fact, Carolina is 4-0 against the NFC West this season, trying to stay perfect here. Kerry Collins finding Mark Carrier. They go on top by the score of 16-7 back in the fourth. Back to Dallas. Pat and John.
Back in Dallas, it's 25-25. Mathis has 5 catches. 2nd and 1. Hebert, long count. Timeout. That's 2 the Falcons have used. They have 1 left. Score tied at 25. We're in the 4th quarter. Atlanta at their own 45-yard line.
You know what they're doing here, Pat? I haven't seen in a long time. They're doing the wave. I haven't seen the wave in about 5 years. I don't know that I've ever seen it here in Dallas.
Well, there are not many waves around here.
Here comes the wave.
Hebert gives to Anderson. And Anderson gets an Atlanta first down. 13 minutes left to play, just under 13. The Falcons only have 1 timeout left. The wave's still going on.
I know, it's right underneath us, and it's going around our right and around in the end zone. There it goes right there. There it goes. Whoa, there goes the wave.
That looks like it's pretty well planned.
I know it. Looks like it's orchestrated.
Even in the upper deck, they're waving.
Because I think with the Cowboys being 3-3, and the score tied in the 4th quarter, I think even those fans feel the urgency, not only of this game, but of the whole season for the Cowboys.
Here comes the wave again. And here come the Falcons again. Hebert gets it. Pass caught by Bert Emanuel. Short of the first down by about a yard.
I tell you, Bobby Hebert is really taking a beating today. I mean, I think both these quarterbacks are, but it seems like every time Bobby Hebert completes a pass, he ends up on his back.
And there's a reason he ends up on his back.
Yeah, because they're rushing. I mean, here comes Fred Strickland. No one blocks Fred Strickland. And look what he does. He just drives Bobby Hebert right into the turf. And that is on a completed pass.
Yeah. 2nd and 4. 6-yard completion. Hebert gives to Anderson. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of a yard. Broderick Thomas first. Right now, let's return to James Brown again at our Fox Television Center.
Hey, Pat, a tale of two halves. Second half belonging to the Giants. Giants come up with their second rushing touchdown of the season. This one in by Tyrone Wheatley. They have cut a 28-0 deficit to 28-21. Back to Irving, Pat, and John.
Some good action going on around the league. 25-25 here at Texas Stadium.
We got some real good action going right here.
Yep. 3rd down, about 4. Hebert to throw it. Gonna have time to step up and makes the pass complete to Bert Emanuel. And that should be enough for an Atlanta first down.
You know, and that's one of the first times that you said that he has time. Because Bert Emanuel is out here and he's on Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is up there jamming him, for 5 yards, grabbing him. Bert Emanuel just works and Bobby Hebert makes a heck of a throw. But as you say, here's one time they did get pass protection. Bobby Hebert was able to get back, to step up, and throw the ball, even though he darn near fell over Chad Henne.
Yeah. 1st and 10 Atlanta. 25-25 score. Flags fly.
Looks like it was on Bob Whitfield.
6, 5 yards. It's still first down.
Mitch Lyons.
Mitch Lyons is right here. He's the tight end. Yeah, he was the end man. It is Mitch Lyons.
Yep. Just have a look at the pressure that both quarterbacks have been under today.
Yeah, and here's the big one, too. I mean, you can only take so many of these. I mean, Bobby Hebert has been hit as he threw the ball or after he threw the ball 13 times. Troy Aikman, and they've had less plays, has been hit 9 times.
1st and 15. Hebert gets to Anderson, just a couple. Less than 9.5, coming up to 9.5 minutes. Less than 10. There's big Leon Lett.
And they know that urgency. I mean, you know, again, why Leon Lett isn't in there, I have no idea. I mean, to me, Leon Lett is one of the few dominating defensive players in the league, and he ought to be in there on every down.
Broderick Thomas is the injured Cowboy.
Broderick Thomas is, you know, what they call Sam linebacker, strong side linebacker. Remember, he took Dixon Edwards' place. Had him as a free agent in the offseason, but today he's been playing this whole game as a defensive lineman. And you're going to see him. He's right here. And again, he's taking on Bob Whitfield there. You see the ball goes to the inside, and he gets another block, and it looks like something happened right at the end of the play. I mean, you couldn't see anything there. But, you know, with this artificial turf, I mean, a lot of times, you know, your foot gets stuck, and as you go down, things happen.
And things just give way. Don't forget game 1, coverage beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 Pacific Time. John Smoltz against Andy Pettit. Game 1 of the World Series here on Fox.
You know, there's nothing like the World Series.
Yep.
I mean, there's something, you know, you talk about, I mean, the Super Bowl, that's big, the World Series.
And when you say it's at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, the World Series at Yankee Stadium, you can't beat that, and they even got bunting. But we have bunting now in the NFL. I love this. I mean, you know, the World Series has always had great bunting. They have bunting everywhere. And now football has kind of copied it and said that what the heck, if that's the thing that, you know, gets people excited and brings them, we're going to have bunting in football. And that makes it bigger. When you see bunting, whenever you see bunting, you know it's big.
And the next step is to get somebody to throw out the first pitch.
Yeah.
They always flip a coin at the Super Bowl. Let's get somebody to throw out the first ball.
But never throw it short.
Right. Here's Hebert backpedaling, stepping up, firing. Pass incomplete. Through the hands of Terrence Mathis, and again, Hebert Couldn't get much on it.
And again, Leon Lett was hanging on him. Here's Leon Lett and Tony Tolbert from that side. They're going to be the two guys that are going to end up on Bobby Hebert. See Leon Lett coming straight up the middle, Tolbert coming from the outside. Leon Lett grabs the front and the head of him, and Tony Tolbert takes the back and the bottom end of him. I mean, how that ball even got out of there is amazing. He should have caught that ball. Bobby Hebert didn't see what happened on that play.
3rd and 14. Hebert out of the spread. Here comes the jailbreak, the screen to Ironhead Hayward. And Ironhead still on his feet, still running over people inside the 25 to about the 22. Roger Harper finally stopped him.
And I think on that play, you have to make it look like a jailbreak to be successful. It's going to, see, he's back here. Here's Ironhead. And Hebert's going to come out here. Ironhead's going to go like he's going to block, and then they're going to throw him a screen in the middle. But I think you have to make it look like a jailbreak so that he can sneak and get in that position. And then when he gets the ball and gets his shoulders squared up, a lot of guys are making business decisions. And there were 3 missed tackles on that play.
Dallas Cowboys have had a tough day tackling both Anderson and Ironhead. Hebert throwing deep for Bert Emanuel off his hand. Covered by Kevin Smith.
You know, that fade pass there, though, Bobby Hebert's awfully accurate on that thing. Here's the matchup up there. Bert Emanuel already has 1 touchdown on Kevin Smith, but that ball is right there.
Wow. What a good throw. Kevin Smith, it looks as if he just got his fingertips on it.
He just got that right hand on that ball to knock it out of there. But Bobby Hebert's been under a lot of pressure, but he's hung in there.
2nd and 10. Well within range for Morton Anderson. And the handoff to Hayward. Brett Strickland meets him and buckles for a minute, but then surges back.
You know how many guys the Cowboys had on that tackle? Because I counted the 2 that weren't in there. They had 9 guys. 9 guys to take Ironhead Hayward down.
Well, that's what you need.
That's the old thing. When you got to get everyone to the ball, I counted the guys that weren't there, and there were only 2 guys not there. Because Ironhead doesn't go down early. But boom, everyone is in on that tackle. 9 guys to take Ironhead down.
11th play of the drive coming up. 3rd down and about 8. Hebert out of the spread. He gives it, fakes to Ironhead and throws. Pass is deflected and batted down. I think Chad Henning has got the hand up.
Bobby Hebert, still a game to him. This is a bootleg. What he's going to do is he's going to take the ball and he's going to fake and then bootleg out here. You see the fake there? Fake. Now he bootlegs out to the right. Broderick Thomas, number 51, was the guy who knocked the ball down. They just carried him out on the play before.
Here's Anderson. He's 4 out of 4 today. He is 5 out of 5 today. And the Falcons take the lead 28-25. His career high is tied today.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Porsche, who wish to remind you there is no substitute.
Back at Texas Stadium, where the Atlanta Falcons have taken a 28-25 lead over Dallas. 7 minutes, 9 seconds left. Morton Anderson to kick off. The Falcons have had trouble covering kickoff, and Herschel Walker will challenge them again. At about the 18, Elbert Shelley made the stop. The blockbuster Blimp has just joined us because of wind in this area. Last week, the blockbuster video Blimp established another record when it came the first blimp ever to fly in the high elevation of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Wind, elevation, they'll do anything.
I know, but you know, it seems funny because the field goal kickers have been, you know, kicking bombs all day today, and you wouldn't think that wind was a factor. It hasn't been a factor here in the stadium, but I guess outside, when a blitz can't get up, that's windy.
Here's Aikman to Bjornsson. About 4. McKyer made the stop.
And I think the Cowboys have to go back to that urgency they had in the third quarter, and I think these fans have to get back to that urgency. Because, you know, they had it when it was tied, but they looked like they got, is the word apathetic?
Well, if there is,
a word?
there is now.
Yeah, the crowd looks a little apathetic right now. I mean, I don't know that they really feel that the Cowboys right now are going to win this game.
One woman had the old-fashioned funeral home band. Here's Bjornsson again, who makes the catch. Devin Bush made the stop.
The thing is, again, I think that you can throw to Bjornsson and so on, but if Michael Irvin is going to be a playmaker, I think you got to get the ball to him. I think he has to be the guy. I think Emmitt Smith has to be the guy. I think Troy Aikman has to be the gun, and the offensive line has to block.
And the crowd's got to get excited.
Well, the crowd, I mean, here over the years has never really been one of the exciting crowds in the NFL.
But we've heard them very vocal.
Today.
Yes, earlier today. Here's Aikman, backpedaling. Incomplete. Intended for Irvin. There's Jay Novacek. They miss him sorely as well. Bjornsson's done a good job, but he's not yet Jay Novacek.
Yeah, and they're starting to think now that Jay Novacek may never be back. You know, there was a talk that Jay Novacek may be back in a week or two, or this is getting better. And I just get the feeling around the Cowboys now is they don't expect that Jay Novacek is going to be back, period.
Well, every time he starts to feel better, something else goes wrong, it seems like. Jets back to punt. High kick is going to be handled. Bounces to Ironhead Haywood. Went over Metcalf's head. He came dashing up to try to handle it, but Ironhead made the save.
You know, this Atlanta defense and this guy right here, Rod Russ, the defensive coordinator, I think have really done an outstanding job today. I mean, because you know, he's playing with a defense that is outmanned, outsized, and with scheme. You know, by moving guys around. Cornelius Bennett as a linebacker, as a down lineman. Chuck Smith from right to left, putting a guy outside him, inside him, scheming and breaking a guy free and putting a lot of pressure on Troy Aikman. I think they have come up with a heck of a defensive game plan today.
They really have. And they also have the football with 5:26 left to play now.
And Bobby Hebert's done a big job of that.
Oh, boy. Courageous. There's Hayward. Found a little opening and got about 6, stopped by Darren Smith.
You know, we said that Jamal Anderson kind of plays most of the, 80% of the plays, and they kind of substitute themselves. And I think it's interesting is once this game got close and the Falcons had to win it, I think Ironhead Hayward probably put himself in.
I think he got excited on that block.
Oh, yeah, he said, yeah, because he had a bad shoulder. So he figures if I can make a block like that, I want to get in there and play. I want to see what these Cowboys are all about.
2nd and 4. Less than 5 minutes. And Atlanta leading 28-25. Hebert scrambles out. Pass complete. Hebert fought some time and threw a shot to Bert Emanuel.
Like I said, Bobby Hebert really is competing today because when he's had time, he's completed them. When he hasn't had time, he stood in there and took the hit and completed them. And that time he had to buy a little time, and he got to the outside and completed it.
You know, his career, he's never lost to Dallas.
That's right. He was 3-0 coming into today's game. In fact, once against Dallas, he threw a touchdown pass to Deion Sanders for, what, 80 yards?
Yes. Deion's longest completion ever. 1st and 10, Atlanta. Hebert. Whistles blow.
Before the snap, delay of game on the offense.
Took too much time.
5 yards.
Here's that play you were just talking about.
It was in 1993 at Atlanta. He threw a short out to Deion Sanders, and Deion Sanders took it all the way. As we said, Bobby Hebert coming into this game was 3-0. against the Dallas Cowboys. But he didn't want to brag about it. It was a 70-yard. I said 80-yard. I gave Dion and Bobby Hebert 10 yards.
Well, they deserve it. The other two times, of course, that he beat Dallas, he was the quarterback at New Orleans.
I think I'd have Deion Sanders in there on defense, too.
Hebert, incomplete. Terrence Mathis, the intended receiver. That'll make it 2nd and 15.
You know, that's one of the problems with playing both ways. I mean, Deion Sanders is coming back in now, but I think that, you know, you get down and you're down by 3 points in the last 3 minutes, and your star defensive player has to take a rest. And, you know, I mean, if there is a negative thing to go in both ways, that's it. Because I don't think that star players, if they're not injured or anything, should ever be off the field. That includes Deion Sanders on defense, and that includes Leon Lett.
2nd and 15. Hebert, ball play to Hayward. Hayward wrapped up at about the 48. George Teague, who's been very active today. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. 28-25, Atlanta over Dallas.
You know, one of the big things this Falcon offense has done is just keep the ball away from the Cowboys. The Cowboys have only had 13 plays offensively this second half.
And the crowd urging the Cowboys. This is a big play for their defense. Hebert has lots of time. Look out. He gets it to Hayward. Hebert threw that pass on the way down. Tony Tolbert hit him along with 2 other Cowboys. While he was going down, he threw the pass to Hayward.
Yeah, Chad Hennings was there. Shante Carver was there. You wonder how he got rid of that one. Watch him. He's in the shotgun. This is a roll right. Now he's going out here to buy a little time. He's holding. Now that clock goes off in his head, and he knows that that's all the time he has. He better get rid of that ball.
He saved some yards with that one, and no fumble. Pass completion.
Look at Michael Irvin is in there. Michael Irvin was in there with his punt return team giving them a talk. That's what this game has been about, you see. Tony Tolbert and Bobby Hebert, after that play, just kind of laying there. 2 guys that have given everything they had.
Relaxing a bit. Kelvin Martin back deep for Dallas. Brzezinski to punt it. High kick. Kelvin Martin watches as it sails out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. So the Cowboys are going to have a long way to go. 2:47 left. They took one of their timeouts, so they have 2 left. 2:47 on the scoreboard clock. Of course, they have the 2-minute warning as well.
Well, you know, we know that, you know, time isn't the thing. I mean, what the Cowboys, and this is the thing they haven't done well all year, is to be able to string a lot of successful plays together to have a long drive. And to do that, you need some big plays, and you're going to need them right now. I mean, this could be a big part of the Cowboys season right here on this drive.
This drive here. Talk about important, big, whatever term you want to use. Aikman retreats. Fires outside to Deion Sanders. Sanders ducks under the tacklers at the 25. McKyer is the defender.
And that was the first pass that Deion Sanders caught today. You're going to see him out here on Tim McKyer. He just runs up. He gets Tim turned a little, sells him on the up, and then runs the out. We saw earlier Michael Irvin down towards the goal line did the same thing to Tim McKyer.
Sanders right, Irvin left. First down, Cowboys. Aikman back. Blitz coming. Gets the ball out to Darrell Johnston. There's a flag on the play. Jesse Tuggle, the rusher.
And that's in the area where they call holding on the left tackle. That's exactly what it is. When that side guy calls it, it's on the tackle on that side, which will be George Hegeman.
Holding, number 22 of the offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Or it'll be the back on that side. It's always the outside guy on the side. Here he calls Emmitt Smith here, but it has to be over here on this side. See, he comes to block the outside guy. Yeah, it's holding. He always calls it on the outside guy, and Emmitt Smith did. He just grabbed the leg.
First down and 20. Kelvin Martin. Here's Aikman deep. Aikman fires deep. That's Kelvin Martin. And that's enough for the first down.
And that's why Troy Aikman's Troy Aikman.
He fired. And that's a good way to describe that one. That ball got there to hurry. 2 minutes left. The Falcons leading by a field goal.
Let's watch that last completion of Troy Aikman. He's on the left. Kelvin Martin is on the right. And you see how Troy Aikman throws the ball before Martin even makes that cut. I mean, he knew he was where he was going. He had to get his feet set. Kelvin Martin was going to run it out, and that was a perfect timing pass.
First and 10 at the 40 for the Cowboys. 2 minutes left. For Sanders. Just overthrown.
Boy, did Emmitt Smith make a block on that one. The Falcons came on a blitz, and again, now you need pass protection, and he got his pass protection. I mean, this is what you need, because this guy not only has to be a runner, but he's going to step, and he's going to have to block here and get that done if Troy Aikman is going to make that deep pass. Watch it. Doink. Right there. Look at the time that Troy Aikman had. They took a shot. Deion Sanders had Tim McKyer beaten, but the ball was just over his fingertip.
Second and 10. Motion is Johnston. Here comes the blitz again for Atlanta. Down the middle to Kelvin Martin. Off to the races to the 20. 10. He's going to score. From 60 yards from Troy Aikman.
I said if they're worth the money they're getting paid, they got to show it right now. And I'll tell you, this guy, Troy Aikman, he showed it big on these last couple plays. Boom, he hits Kelvin Martin. Kelvin Martin just runs right through and away from everyone. And you know who the guy was that said they ought to sign Kelvin Martin a couple weeks ago? Troy Aikman.
They say he can't run. He's not that fast. He's not big enough. Aikman said, I want him back. Troy Aikman's comfortable with Kmart, they call him. Kelvin Martin. They lead 32-28. Dallas, here's what got them the lead.
Troy Aikman needed to play. He threw a perfect pass to Kelvin Martin, and Kelvin Martin did it the rest.
He may not be fast enough, but nobody caught him.
He was faster than any Falcon on the field. Now that is a guy that had to make a play. I said that these guys that make all the money, this is what they get paid for, to make plays right now, and Troy Aikman did that. They were behind. They had the full length of the field. They had gotten a penalty, and then under adverse conditions, they hung in there, and he hit that boom to Kelvin Martin, and the second one to Kelvin Martin.
Eric Metcalf. Out of bounds, finally just outside the 20. Right at the 20.
And I think we have to remember, I think Troy Aikman knows this. He knows what Bobby Hebert's done all day today. I mean, Bobby Hebert's been a warrior. He's hung in there today, and anything that they've questioned, Bobby Hebert's had an answer for. So he could have an answer for this.
Today's game being produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Technical producer Bob Muller, the associate director Rich Russo, broadcast associates Mike Roig and Fran Morrison, studio produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. Executive producers at Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. First down, Atlanta.
And the Cowboys sideline players are waving towels. They're trying to get this crowd in there to help their defense.
Hebert drops it outside.
that won't get it done. Jamal Anderson.
And remember, the Falcons have already used 2 timeouts. They only have 1 timeout left.
A minute and 18 seconds, the clock running. Hebert back in the spread formation. 2nd and 10. Just over a minute left. Flag on the play.
I think Bob Whitfield moved on that one, the left tackle.
That touchdown pass from Troy Aikman to Kelvin Martin. The longest Cowboy play of the year.
5 yards. It's still 2nd down.
Yeah, that's another one of those real slight rocks there by Bob Whitfield. You see, he just started, just moved up, and once he moves, everyone's going to point on him, and they call it.
2nd and 15 for the Falcons from their own 14. Hebert has some time, gets it outside. J.J. Burton makes the catch. J.J. with his quickness can't get away from Deion Sanders.
That's the thing, and we said that before. Deion Sanders is a good tackler. He just doesn't do a lot of it. But when he has to, he's a good tackler. He had to, and he did.
Atlanta just used their last timeout.
I mean, I love my husband, but he'll buy anything. Good morning, sweetheart.
Morning. What?
Like last week, he wanted to spend $700 on a satellite dish. A gadget guy. So I called Prime Star. Prime Star's a service, so there's no equipment to buy. You get the dish, digital picture and sound, and it starts at about $1 a day. He's so happy with Prime Star, he got me these.
For the best value in satellite TV, call 1-800-PRIME-STAR or visit your local Radio Shack.
Dallas just scored to take the lead from Atlanta. 60-yard pass from Troy Aikman to Kelvin Martin. Up until then, it had been seesaw all day long. Morton Anderson kicked 5 field goals. Emmitt Smith scored 3 touchdowns. Third and 9, Atlanta. They trail 32-28. Ball at their own 20. 3rd down. Bobby Hebert all day at quarterback. Fires in the slot. Pass complete to Eric Metcalf. And that'll move the sticks for Atlanta as they hurry up.
And remember, Atlanta has no timeouts.
Clock running less than 40 seconds. Hebert back to throw it from behind. Sacked by Shante Carver.
Shante Carver lined up on Bob Whitfield and went right around him. Here's Shante Carver here. You're going to see Bobby Hebert's in the shotgun. Bob Whitfield just didn't get back there. He didn't get back. He didn't get set up. He didn't do anything. That was a half effort. Oh, boy, he didn't get it when he needed it. I mean, Bob Whitfield had to stand up and block on that one, and he didn't get back. He didn't get set. He didn't get anything. He was the guy that they just called the penalty on 2 plays ago. That is very unlike him.
Bill Eager, June Jones, and a happy, although you wouldn't know it, Troy Aikman.
I think Troy Aikman's going to be a little happier when this 23 seconds gets off that clock. Because Troy Aikman did what he had to do. I mean, it had been a frustrating day for him, and this Atlanta Falcon defense had played very well. They schemed him. They did all those things. They knocked him around, and he hung in there all day. And then at the end, he threw this one.
To Kelvin Martin, number 83.
Kelvin Martin just runs that quick slant. He hit him. It looked like the 2 Falcons picked off themselves, the 2 Falcon defensive backs. Kelvin Martin, who's not supposed to be able to run, outruns everyone on the Falcon team.
Not supposed to be big enough to find in the pass scheme in the secondary.
But when they needed a wide receiver, Kelvin Martin was the guy that Troy Aikman recommended that they go and get.
They said, get him back here. He did.
Because he knows what to do.
Here's Hebert again. Hebert fires up the middle, short of the 1st down at the 40. To Bert Emanuel. Hebert says, hurry up.
Hebert's out. They have to take Bobby Hebert out. They're going to try a field goal.
Can't be. We'll try it.
No, it has to be Browning Nagel came in.
Browning Nagel came in. He got a shotgun of an arm, but he won't have a chance to use it. He fumbled. Picked up by an Atlanta Falcons, Jamal Anderson. And the game was over.
And they had one more play. They wanted to get in, so they ran Bobby Hebert off, ran Browning Nagel in, and he was going to try and throw a deep Hail Mary. The Cowboys didn't give him a chance to get anything off. But what a fight these Atlanta Falcons put up today.
Did they ever? June Jones deserves an awful lot of credit. So does Barry Switzer. 32-28, the final score. The Cowboys improved to 4-3. The Falcons remain winless 0-7. It was a struggle.
It was a great battle. I mean, these Falcons came in. They hadn't won a game, but boy, did they fight today.
Final score. Dallas 32, Atlanta 28. Coming up, James Brown, Terry Bradshaw will be along from the Fox Television Center with the NASDAQ postgame report right after these messages.
Light, the silver bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies.
Helped us earn these free airline tickets?
Exactly. Triple miles from Hertz.
Triple miles just for renting with Hertz?
Exactly. On weekly and weekend rentals.
And we still get computerized driving directions, emergency roadside assistance, and all the Hertz service?
Exactly. It's Hertz.
So, I guess I can stop thinking about how much we're saving and start enjoying our vacation.
Exactly.
Can you identify who it was that frightened you, ma'am?
I'll try.
This Halloween, terrifying creatures are on the loose at Taco Bell. Wanted Goosebumps at Taco Bell. Slappy's Candy Keeper, Cuddles the Horrible Hamster, Rappin' Mummy, and Skullmobile. Get them now. Goosebumps collectibles only at Taco Bell.
Your Indiana Ford dealers have just put a new spin on driving a 97 Ford Taurus. Now you can lease one for just $259 a month for 24 months. That's just $259 a month to drive the best-selling car in America, Ford Taurus. With more style, room, comfort, and convenience than ever before. Just $259 a month to lease a new Ford Taurus. It's a new spin on Taurus without a big twist on your wallet. Your Indiana Ford dealers are one.
Out here, we have 4 times the fun. No wonder we get 4 times as hungry. Good thing it's 4 for $5 at Arby's. 4 mouth-watering Arby's beef and cheddars for just $5. 4 helpings of slow-roasted beef, a tangy cheddar cheese sauce, and our own red ranch sauce, all on a toasted onion roll. But it won't last long, so you better go for it. When we say it's better out here, this is what we mean. 4 Arby's beef and cheddars for just $5.
NFL action with Gary and Ray tonight on 59 Overtime.
Swinging in here. Back here in Hollywood for the NASDAQ postgame report. Ronnie, Howie, and Terry, I'm James Brown. Let's get you caught up on the rest of the scores as we go around the league. You saw that the Cowboys up into the Falcons in the closing minutes, 32-28. Emmitt Smith, a big day indeed on the ground.
On the ground is right. Back This is a 9-yard touchdown reception from Troy Aikman as the Cowboys jumped on top 17-12, but back comes Bobby Hebert. Notice the time clock. It did expire before the play. No one caught it. Cowboys argued, but it gave the Falcons a lead 25-17. And now Troy Aikman sacked. Both quarterbacks today under a lot of duress, a lot of pressure. Bertie Manuel, 4-yard touchdown reception in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, 25-17 Atlanta. And Emmitt Smith coming back. He gets through. Game 25-23. Cowboys go to tie it up. Great job. Notice inside pressure. Aikman finds Michael Irvin in the cornerback. That ties up the football game at 25-all. Atlanta driving with a shot. Iron Hayward takes the ball. He goes up. He gets to the 22-yard line. Great effort on this screenplay by the Falcons. Morton Anderson, his 5th field goal of the day, ties the most in his career. And then this game winner, Kelvin Martin from the slot, the safety with an inside release. The safety that's covered him went over the double. Michael Irvin, therefore left the middle wide open for Kelvin Martin. He takes it 60 yards, the longest play of the year offensively for the Cowboys as they take care of the visiting Falcons 32-28.
Atlantis, wow, still with us 0-7. Terry Allen, a big day for the Redskins, 3 touchdowns.
But we've seen this last week. We saw it this week, something the Redskins have worked on all week long, gadget plays. A reverse, Leslie Shepard takes it. He goes 31 yards down to the 2-yard line. Next play, Terry Allen. He gets in for the touchdown, 7-0 Skins. Gus Farad, he comes back. He pumps it. He does this to get the safety, the freeze, allowing Henry Ellard plenty of time down the sideline, all the way to the 2-yard line. Terry Allen scores again, 21-0, as it looks like a rout. Dave Brown throws to Thomas Lewis. He drops it. Darrell Green, he scooped it up. He goes 68 yards. Holy cow, 28-0. Redskins all over the visiting Giants. But Dave Brown had a good job in the second half. He gets Chris Callan's way on a crossing route, 13-yard touchdown. That cuts it to 28-14, but the final is 31-21. The Giants play a great second half, especially offensively.
And it was a game of 2 halves indeed. Giants won the second half.
Saints. Yes, Saints. Tyrone Hughes, one of the best in the NFL on special teams. He fumbled. This sets up a 23-yard John Casey field goal. Casey on the Ray Zeller gets this touchdown run here. This puts the Saints up 7-3. But Kerry Collins finds Mark Carrier, 13 yards. Great job today by Kerry Collins, standing in the pocket, firing the football, but the game belonged to John Casey. He has now kicked 9 field goals in the 2 victories this year for Carolina over the Saints. 9 field goals. Amazing as the Panthers take care of the Saints 19-7.
And the Panthers stay undefeated against opponents in the NFC West with that victory. The Redskins 31-21 over the Giants. A big day for Terry Allen, who now leads the NFL in touchdowns with 10. Let's take it back to RFK, Dick Stockton, and Matt Millen.
Thank you very much, JB. And I would say the Redskins are breathing a sigh of relief right now. They had a 28-0 lead at half. The Giants made it very close. A late field goal by Scott Blanton iced it. But the Redskins win. They're 6-1, but it wasn't an easy as it looked in the first half.
No, it really